Welcome to another episode of The Panel. Everybody welcome in. I hope you had a good weekend. Y'all see the title of the show. The Warriors have now made big splash, little splash, cannonball. They made a splash by getting Dennis Schroder, and Joel Embiid is out again. And we have some good games this weekend. NBA Cup games, semifinals. We now have a championship game that will take place tomorrow. But before we do anything, Chill, you got something for us?
Sure, Ron. Oh, they also lost McCain too towards meniscus, so he's out indefinitely.
Indefinitely, he's getting it fixed. It looks like, which is thank God they're not telling him
the way to go
to get it scoped out. Yeah, if you get it scoped out, you can come back immediately. But if you get it, or scoped up, but if you get it like taken out, then you can come back immediately. But the issue is you'll have issues long down the line, like Embiid's having right now. But it's a 4 to 6 month recovery if you get it fixed, depending on how big the tear is in your meniscus.
That means that we won't have no more problems with this in the future.
If they do it, if they do the scope option.
Sure.
Yes.
I'm actually liking that. I'm never getting my knee scoped again, by the way, but that's a completely different subject. I was thinking, fellas, over the weekend, that Oklahoma City Houston game got me thinking, because that was probably the best game that I've seen in a long time. A lot of turnovers, a lot of sloppy play. That's what defense does. That's what great defense does. But I was thinking about the league MVP, and the question that I have for you guys is,
which league? NFL, NBA. Which one are we in?
And when the NBA.
Okay. Can I talk NFL today? Go ahead,
can I affect winning more, but somebody be a better player than me?
Say it again.
Can I affect winning more, but somebody is a better player than me?
Yes.
Okay. And the reason I'm asking you that is because I feel like SGA affects winning more than Jason Tatum does right now. But I think Jason Tatum is a better player than him.
Well, Chill. No, it depends on the tier of player you're talking about. I don't mean this disrespectfully at all.
Sure.
And again, I think Tatum's been a top 5 player this year. I wouldn't say fairly easily, Chill, but I would say like fairly, like comfortably this year. SGA has had back-to-back regular seasons where he's been both better and more impactful. And I think when you're looking at like on-court net rating stuff, I think the number right now, y'all, in chat, please correct me if I'm wrong. Off top of my head, I want to say the Thunder are 16.5 points better when SGA is on the floor this year as opposed to when he's off. Now, when he's off, I think they're still a +8. I can't remember correctly. Again, somebody correct me if I'm wrong, because they have an elite roster around them, but they've absolutely been dominant with him on the court. Now with the Celtics, similarly, I think with Jason Tatum, they're also winning their minutes in a pretty heavy fashion. But when you just look at the overall impact, like across the board with the traditional impact data, some of the other things, like so Hanzo, yeah, like they're a +15 with him on. Let me just pull this up. I'll read this off to you, Chill, so you can get a gauge where everybody's at. So currently in the NBA in 2024-25, Shai Gilgeous, they're a +16.4, Chill.
With him on the floor.
With him on the floor.
Okay.
And then if you look at Evan Mobley this year, I filtered out for 30 minutes more per game. Evan Mobley, they're a +14.
Sure.
Jason Tatum, they're a +12.7. J-Dub, they're a +11.3. Jokic, they're a +10.9. Donovan Mitchell, they're a +10. Steph Curry, +9.7. Luka Doncic, +9.6.
+9.6.
Luka's a 9.6. This is
so SGA leads everybody.
Among 30 more than 30 minute. 30 minutes played per game. Yeah.
The upper echelon guy.
Was Jonas on there?
Giannis is no. So that's been kind of the story of the year. They've gone up, but they're only a +2.6 with Giannis so far. He's right next to Victor Wembanyama, was a +2.0.
Now, the reason why I brought this question up, Mars, is because the gauge with Jason Tatum isn't really much in terms of him being off the floor because he plays so much. I think he missed 5 games last year. This season, he's only been out of the lineup twice. When he's out of the lineup, he's not out of the lineup long. Like I watched the Warriors game yesterday. For the 5 minutes, I believe it was 5 minutes, Steph Curry comes off the floor. Steph Curry comes off the floor, 5 minutes left in the first quarter, and they end up getting 9 points out of Draymond. Now, I'm not expecting that on a regular, right? I'm not expecting that on a regular. That's something that's far and few between with Draymond. But with Jason Tatum and SGA, the reason why I brought this up, because I'm thinking about the league MVP, and I'm thinking about how winning is impactful when we're talking about the league MVP. And the fact that Jason Tatum plays a lot. SGA doesn't miss a lot of games neither, right? So with SGA not missing a lot of games, I'm thinking about who is impacting winning more for their crew. Well, I think the Celtics have more talent. So I feel like SGA has to do, and I don't think the gap is that wide in terms of talent between both Oklahoma City
I think the Thunder's defense is what makes them so talented.
Yes, and the fact that they create so much offense with their defense, and how fast how they speed the game up. With that being said, I'm thinking about how much more SGA has to do in terms of affecting winning, and I think that Jason Tatum being on the floor, and I feel like with him being on the floor, his ability to play make, his ability to distribute, I do think it affects winning. I just feel like SGA, with the crew that he has and what he has to do, I feel like I think he impacts winning just a little bit more. Which is why if I'm voting at the end of the season, even though I still think Jason Tatum is a better player than him, I would have to say SGA was the league MVP.
Chill. Can I get your top 5 right quick?
Top 5 players in the game?
Yeah, right now. Currently.
Top 5 players in the game. I think it's Joker, Giannis, SGA, Jokic, Giannis, Tatum, SGA, Luka.
Luka at 5. So you have SGA better than Luka.
I think he's playing better.
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's playing better. I don't think he's better neither. If you got Luka at 4, SGA at 5, I don't have issue with that at all. I do think he's playing better right now, though.
Well, I think if again, please, and obviously this is a an open conversation or whatever, but I think the issue is that you have to, when you're measuring value, because even if in your conversations about like on-court stuff is really important, and I'm not a big off-court person, but I do think it matters in the context of like value assessment for like a team.
What do you mean when you say that, Swipe Out? I want to stay right there, Swipe Out. But when you say,
remember when we brought up the Kobe conversation last week, and Mars, what was the number that Kobe had that 05-06 year? Was it a plus when he was on the court, where they were plus 12? It was a 19-point swing, I know.
Offensively, it was like plus 19 or something. Overall, I can't remember, maybe plus 12, plus 13, something like that.
Right. So that, I think in years when your roster, when you don't have the same talent level, like, Chill, have you ever played Madden before?
No, I haven't. I'm sorry.
So when you play Madden, you can set your settings when you want to do a head-to-head versus a friend or versus yourself, and you can do more arcade style. Where you can just make everybody, basically the team, they're going to equal out. Like everybody's going to play at the same level. Or you can do simulation, which is based on your actual, like how good your teams are or how bad your teams are. And then it's all skill from there. And I think in this instance, when you're talking about the MVP conversation with this stuff, I do think you have to put in the context of the reason why certain players have these years where the on-off swing should matter more, because they don't have the talent for them to not be great. Like if you're winning, for instance, like we watched Joker, he's winning the minutes by so much, and then they're losing the minutes by so much when he's been off the court, because that speaks to how the team is performing. I think the Thunder, they're still winning without Shea. They're like elite with Shea, but then they're still winning without Shea. And I think with Tatum, very similarly, they're really, really good with Tatum, but they're still winning without Tatum. But that's just speaks to the roster construction, and also too just the math game. Again, y'all, this is where the 3-point conversation is gotten so out of hand, and I'm not complaining about it at all. I'm just adding context. I don't know if y'all saw Kirk Goldsberry. He put a tweet out last night, Chill, and he said in the Warriors-Mavs game, they just made 48 total threes in 48 minutes of play. Obviously, that's a new record. But the point distribution of that game, there were 144 points made from three-pointers, 106 points made from two-pointers, and 26 points made from free throws. So what's happening?
Say that one more time. Say that one more time.
So in the Warriors-Mavs game, there were 48
in which they broke the record. Broke the record for total threes per game. But
broke the record, right? Mm-hmm. And then the total point distribution, there were 144 points total scored in three-pointers. There were 106 points total in two-pointers, and then there were 26 points total in free throws. Right. So the disparity now between, I think, talent in a regular season setting And the skill of the 3-point shot, the skill of the 3-point shot has gotten so important that I even think is outdoing talent in the NBA in a regular season setting now. And I think that is what is, I think, putting a lot of people, in dismay with where the league is right now. Because at this point in time, if you just shoot 50 threes, statistically chill, if I make 18 to 22 threes, even 17 or 16 threes out of 50 shots, I have gotten basically an additional 45 to 52 points off of 3-pointers. And that is taking up some of the deficit that exists between our teams from a talent standpoint, because now I'm just out-mathing you.
Sure.
And it's no longer about like the same level of talent. Go ahead.
What team is, and I know you got a point to make, and then I want to get to the super chat, but I got to ask Swiper, what team is just getting out-talented? Do the math. Because if you look at the Warriors, I mean, look at this at the Celtics, nobody's more talented than them. Like,
There's
yes, they're
plenty of
out-mathing
teams.
people, but they're also better than people. Can y'all give me a team? And I'm not. This isn't for an argument. I'm legitimately asking you guys, which teams are less talented, but
So if
for
you
all
look at
intents and purposes,
three-point
they just got guns and they just out shooting you.
So 3-point rate in the NBA right now. Boston's number one. Could you name the other teams in 3-point rate, leading the NBA in 3-point rate right now in the league? The other 4 teams. Boston's
I would
number
probably
one.
say OKC's in there.
No.
Mm-hmm.
No.
OKC is not in there. Memphis.
No.
No Memphis. How about
one
Houston?
of them? Charlotte.
Yes, they're 3.
Hey, shout out that big gun that they got there. He on the shelf right now, but that's a big gun.
Is Atlanta in there?
He's back today, apparently.
No.
I think.
No Atlanta.
The
Cleveland?
Bulls is one of them.
Did we say the Warriors?
Nope.
Okay,
So
no
Charlotte's
Warriors.
Ron, why are you shouting them out, Ron? What's their record? All these threes they're making, what's their record?
I'm just shouting out
all the threes they're taking. This is 3.
All the threes they're taking.
Oh, these are
and I wanted to get to Swiper's point. I did want to get to Swiper's point about in terms of the talent, but to answer Ron's question,
Brooklyn's number 4.
So
Brooklyn. Are these attempts or makes?
This is rate, like the rate at which
how many they shooting.
Your shot, like
you take 100 shots. How many of them are threes?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that don't mean nothing.
It means a lot.
That's why 4 of the teams on here are garbage and 1 team is elite.
Well,
your 3-point attempts don't mean anything.
That was the point that I was making. That was the point that I was making about Swiper when he brought up with Dallas. What that does now is that shows the difference in why teams like when I watched over the weekend, Charlotte and Chicago. Why are you guys shooting the long ball the way that you're shooting the long ball? You guys are not good enough to shoot 95 threes between the both of you. No,
but it doesn't matter, Phil.
And that was the point that I was getting to. I do understand that's the league we live in, though, and you have
why
to
doesn't
be
it matter?
to do that.
How do you understand that? Why does it not matter?
Well, it does. It does because you.
Swiper said it doesn't matter, and you said you understand that. I'm trying to figure out how does it not matter?
I'm saying it does. I said it does matter. Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Because you have to be able to shoot the long ball in today's game. You have to be, and even if you're not as talented, you have to be able to do that. It's like running. Okay, I'm not as fast as Mars in 100, but like this is how fast guys are running. So I got to run. I have to do this. This is the style that everybody's playing in. So I feel like what the Warriors have done, and I feel like what Dallas did yesterday, I feel like what they did was they separated not just themselves, but they've shown the rest of the league that there's a difference between us and other teams like Charlotte, like Chicago, like Portland. There's a difference between us, and not just with record. I don't think it's just with record. I also think it's with how many guys are shooting the long ball. There are guys on this crew that should not be shooting like that. It shouldn't be.
I got a quick question because before I got up here, I was fixing some tea, and I was digging y'all basketball conversation. It was dope, but I do have a quick conversation. I do have a quick question. I want to understand something. If a guy is what's it when you said SGA is 16.2 points?
They're plus 16.4 on when
plus,
on.
yeah. And Giannis
and Mars, I would like for you to answer this question.
And a plus 2 when Giannis, yeah.
Right. So I'm just curious, like, what does that really show in the sense of like if I have a player out, right? If I take out one of my star players and we start playing a different style of play, It's not. It doesn't really necessarily mean how much better or worse we are without you. But we might play a different style. We might have to slow it down a little bit. If it's a big guy we're talking about, maybe we're shooting more. If it's my shooter we're talking about, maybe we're going to the rim a little more. So I can see the disparity where we might score a little less, but we're still winning these minutes. And the point to me in basketball isn't by how much can I win, but the point to basketball to me is to win the game. So am I really showing how much better we are with this player, or is it just a different style of play? Have we slowed the game down? Have we sped the game up? Are we more reliant on defense? And we can lock down on defense, so we might not win by much. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not scoring as much as we usually do, but our defense has stepped up. So where does it show with these numbers how much better I really am with this player, with it out? Is it the point gap, the point differential? Is that really where it is, or is it the different style of play? Also, if Giannis is only at a 2-point, and we know he's one of the top 3 players in the NBA,
sure.
What are these numbers really showing to us? What are they really saying to us?
Mars,
yeah,
War Machine.
Well, okay, yeah.
Okay. I think the first thing is, oh God, I think impact is not just how a team looks without you. I think that's a start of things. But I think the reason why the rate in which you win, or like how much you win by with a player on the court without, just in general, is important, is because I think it opens up a margin for error. If you're winning by 20 points per 100 possessions, you have a larger margin for error on a game where you don't play great. Whereas if you're winning by 2 points per 100 possessions, your margin for error is now smaller. So you may still win, but on a night where you don't have it, your margin for error is smaller, which now can ultimately turn those wins into losses. So I think the ultimate goal is to win by as much as possible, as often as possible, which is why I like having a plus 15 or 16 net rating like Shea has is impressive. But if they're still winning without him, like I think they're like a +2 or something without him. If they're still winning without him, that means the team can still tread water, and they might play a different style, which is entirely possible. But it's about which style of play is most conducive for success. And I think we can all agree the most conducive style for success for OKC includes Shea. So I think sometimes it can get a bit skewed in terms of like a team can look totally incompetent without a player, and they look really good with them. And then
like Denver
Nuggets.
like
the
Denver,
Nuggets, like the Timberwolves with Kevin Garnett, and people were like, I'm not saying wrongfully, but people will like use that to say that they're the most impactful players. And I think when their roster is extremely flawed and they rely on one person for like practically everything, I don't think that makes that player better more so than it makes the roster just bad.
You talking about the off stuff?
Yes. I think a team being incompetent without one individual is more of an indictment on the roster than it is credit to the player.
We shouldn't go
Does
in
that
the
make sense?
tank when it does. We
Like,
shouldn't
does
we
that,
shouldn't
like,
be this
if a
bad
team-
when you're off the floor. I get that.
I think to win at the highest level, and this is why I say I think players can be more impactful within their situation than others, but in general, I don't think that makes them better, because you can only be impactful within your team construct, and your team construct could just be different to someone else's. That doesn't make you better. That just means you're in a different situation. So if I'm trying to gauge impact, and this is why it's so difficult and it's all subjective, if I'm trying to gauge impact, I try to just look at the impact I personally believe this player's skill set has. So like, how valuable is this person's play without the basketball? How valuable is their team defense? How valuable is their on-ball defense? How valuable is their scoring ability? Blah, blah, blah. And I try to separate that from their team construct. Because if you start just looking at players' impact based on their team and saying this guy's better than that guy because he's more impactful, but they're in different situations, I think that's where you can kind of like get things messed up. Now, if you're both on the same team, I think you could just say the person who's more impactful is probably better for the most part. But I think
Pause,
when
can
there
I
are different
challenge?
teams, you got to separate that a little bit.
I know we gotta-
I
I know
know
we
the
gotta
reason
go,
Giannis's numbers
Well,
are so
just do that.
aren't
ad
as
real quick,
good
and
is
we'll
because
get back
Giannis
to it.
shares the court with Bobby Portis a lot. I'm just but
Well,
anyway,
Go ahead, Ron.
So Swiper, you would pose the question about these star players box plus minus and who's the
No, I
best
didn't.
on the court and whatnot. Well,
No, I didn't.
something similar to that. I just want to ask.
It's not similar at all, actually.
Okay, but I just want to ask.
Does that have anything to do with it, Swiper? That's anything to do with it.
You see how you do to me?
A separate question. Which star ceiling raises the most?
Well,
And we could keep Jokic out of this. We can keep Jokic out of
We
this.
can't keep Jokic out of this.
I just want to follow up Mars real quick. I
I did too.
Yeah, I think I want to say to Mars that I do agree. I think the only thing that I would say that is the variable for me that matters is I think on-court net rating is really important, and I think the context of on-court net rating is also very important because you have to understand, like, again, I think that there has to be a base level of if you're assuming each player starts from the same requisite place, then I think that's where you make the wrong assumption. Like, so is Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, he's the most impactful player on a minute-per-minute basis in the NBA? Well, no. Is Giannis to Ox's point, is Giannis the 100th most impactful player in the NBA? No. But what it does say is that the team around Giannis is so uniquely flawed, and also Giannis doesn't have the traditional floor-raising genotype that like some other all-time great players have. But typically, like floor raising for the most part, you got to be like, I'm talking about like an all-time great defender to be like a real defensive floor raiser. I mean, you're talking about your Hakeems, your Bill Russells, like you're talking about those type of players, Duncan. But offensively, typically, you have to be like almost like a one-of-one kind of offensive player to floor raise at like a super elite level. But I think the thing with Giannis is he's a very elite offensive player, but the team around him is so uniquely flawed. And in this era in particular, shooting. Like if you're not supplying a lot of shooting and you don't have a team that's supplying a lot of shooting, then I think that's going to dumb down just how good the minutes are with you on the court relative to this era. And that goes back to my three-point rate stuff. If the other team on the other side, Ox and Raw, if they're getting up 45 threes and you're only giving up 27, like the Memphis Grizzlies, they got up 27 three-pointers last night, I believe. It's so ridiculously hard in this league to win, even if you got another player on the other end of the court getting 56, 16, and 8. Because if the Wizards, if they make 12 more threes than you, it's a single-digit game, you lose more times than not. Even if I get to the free throw line, Ox, free throws are still, in this era, less important than three-point volume. And I'm saying
that. But with that being said, Swipe, but can't that also be a detriment too? Because sure, we live in an era where you have to be able to shoot the long ball to be not just to win, but to be competitive. Because you can get blown out of games if you don't shoot the long ball. But it could also be a detriment. And I bring up the example of what we saw this weekend with the Chicago Bulls and Charlotte. I saw the Chicago Bulls early this season smoke Milwaukee, where I think they made something like 30-something threes. And then they play against Charlotte, and between the two of these guys, they look like a high school team shooting the long ball. So I'm thinking to myself, okay, there has to be some sort of balance in between. Ron, I want to get back to your question. I definitely want to get back to your question, but I want to answer rebut what Mars just got finished talking about. Mars, you talked about in the intermediate of we're in a different situation. Even if we are in a different situation, there are things that don't change in basketball. And one of the things that don't change in basketball, I've always felt like that, is what's important and what goes into winning. What do you do in order to help us win? Now, don't get me wrong. There are players who are better than other players, and I won't argue that point. However, do you play winning basketball more than this guy plays winning basketball? Even if my roster is substantially less than yours, am I still playing winning basketball? Now, I might have to do more in order for us to win, i.e. Kobe Bryant in 2006. I got to shoot the basketball more. Why? Because I don't have a lot of guys who are good at what they do. Not necessarily stars, but good at what they do. However, this guy who's got a roster that's flawed and maybe a little bit better than mine, but he does more to help us win. For example, James. So when I'm thinking about a guy that your roster is flawed from my roster, but in the process of your roster being flawed from my roster, which one of us is playing more winning basketball? I'd like to think that matters a lot.
What's winning basketball?
Well, one of the things I think is winning basketball is hitting the open man, being less selfish, even though I might have to do a little bit more because my roster is flawed, but being less selfish, hustle plays, dirty work stuff, just all around things and making the right plays in order for us to have a chance to win games.
If the open man is Andre Roberson, is it the winning play to pass to him or is it to shoot?
Not him. That's not the winning play, because back to Ox's point, know your personnel. I know who I have to go to. And if there's a reason why Andre Roberson is consistently open, The reason why Andre Roberson is consistently open because that's part of the game plan. He can't shoot. But there's another guy on the crew who can. Now, as good as I am, and as good as I am, I do attract the defense, which means I don't have to shoot all the shots, but I can't pass every trip neither. So that's where, in terms of IQ, that's where that comes in. So I can get this guy involved when it's necessary.
Winning basketball is also you telling Andre Roberson that you can't just stand there wide open. You're not helping the team by explaining to Andre Roberson that he should be setting some off-ball screens. You know what I'm saying? Off-ball screens, diving to the basket, stuff like that. Andre Roberson can still play winning basketball, but somebody has to. I mean, I'm not saying he doesn't understand that. I'm just saying that if he's standing there, somebody could play winning basketball by telling Dre, hey, go get him. You know what I'm saying? Stuff like that.
Well, he did play winning basketball. It was in the Western Conference Championship. And
right. I'm not saying he can't.
I know.
Yeah, I wasn't using Andre Roberson to like slander his name.
It was just an example.
That was the worst shooter that came to mind.
It was just an example. Sure, it was just an example. And I don't think that they made the Western Conference Championship in spite of him. I mean, he was an all-league defender. So he was doing things that were conducive to them winning. But I just feel like when you play winning basketball, I feel like that's where the separator comes in between two players. Even if my roster is significantly flawed or more flawed than yours.
Can you play winning basketball and lose?
Yes. You can.
So can you be on I got chill on the box now. Chill. Can you play more winning basketball on a team with a barely above 500 record than a player on another team with a 57 plus win record? Can I, on a team that's barely above 500, contribute more to winning than another best player on a team that's going to win 57 plus games?
Well, I can still play basketball and play smart and play the right way, and it might not lead to wins, but I'm still hitting.
So I can be a more impactful winning player than another player.
I'm still hitting the cutter. I'm still rebounding. I'm still involving my guys in the offense. I'm still scoring the basketball at an efficient rate. I'm still doing that. Those are the things that I'm still doing. I'm just not winning as much as you are. No, I'm still doing that though.
So you can be more impactful on a team with less wins.
That's practically what you said. Like, I'm just putting out.
Because I just want to go back to a point, Chill. Because you're not going to just say yes. Because I know that's not how you work.
Well,
so
it is what he said, but then
he did say, but he's not going to. Yeah. Chill. Can you just outright say yes, please?
Well, that's what I was just thinking. That yeah, you can be
okay. I mean, remember last week.
For example, if I'm hitting Jamal Murray on a cut, wide open, and he blows the layup, that's not my fault. But I am impactful. Last week, you said you would give the MVP to somebody who's had the same record in both conferences, but if they're higher in the seeding, you would give it to the other one with the higher seed, even though you just said you can be more impactful and your team win less games than another player that his team win more games. Correct. And again,
so just because you have a better record, basically.
Yeah, seeding matters to me, man. Even though
you're acknowledging they're not a more impactful player. All right,
I am acknowledging that. I 100%. I 100%.
So Josh Allen's going to win MVP, and even though he's not, okay, I got you. What was your question, Ron?
Josh Allen is definitely going to win the league MVP because it's a quarterback award, not for any other reason. Because it's a quarterback award.
So the third best quarterback in the league right now. But sure, go ahead.
SMN RNDM. Sent through a $20 or that's euros or pounds?
That's pounds.
He sent through 20 pounds. Well, $19.99 to be exact. But he said this plus minus argument is skewed and not accurate. It's also about rotations in depth. For instance, Jokic, his plus minus will always be higher because no one goes 5 out more than the Nuggets. Jokic rotation always has the most starter lineups.
That's not true.
So I want to say that this has been debunked several times with evidence on multiple platforms, but it still is a talking point because people are trying to find ways to justify why the numbers are so high with Joker and so low when he's off. That's all that is.
Might not be the highest swiper, but can you deny that it's not one of the top 3 highest as far as going 5 out?
What?
Like
no, but that's not what they do.
Rotations that sub a lot of
I'm looking at the numbers right now. Like the Nuggets and the Mavericks, they have a very, if anything across the board, Luka Doncic plays more minutes with the starters individually than Jokic does with the individual starters for his team for the most part.
Okay, but Jokic is still 1, 2,
Giannis,
3.
but that's what players do, though. I think when I'm looking at, like, the only players that don't do that typically are, like, if they stagger heavy. Like, there are certain players that do heavy staggers, but that's because they have 2 stars, like the Lakers with AD and Braun, where they want to split them up to stabilize the bench units and then to win those bench units when the other team has their starters off. But for the most part, starters always play with like the star always plays with typically starters and then plays with a couple of bench players, and then you go off from there, and then you stabilize with other starters and stuff. Like, there's this idea that, like, Malone and Booth and, like, the Cronkies have developed this, like, ingenious master plan to give Joker MVPs by then saying
is he or is he not one of the stars that
no,
plays
statistically there's almost no difference between him and other stars in the NBA. Statistically, no.
Okay. That's all.
But he likes
to
play the entire first and third quarter, and then he'll come back in the midway through the second and fourth. Go ahead.
You sent me this, Swiper, so apparently this is something you want to address.
So
as you can see,
one of my contemporaries, Ryan Blackburn, put this together because he was also getting the same thing. And so this is how you can see the percentage of Jokic minutes that he plays with each individual, or how each individual player for the Nuggets, how much of their minutes they play with Joker. Christian Brown is the one most attached. Because Christian has no value on the roster if he's not playing with Joker for several different reasons. So this is the first one. This is Joker.
That's
you
a
can see
crazy statement.
maybe
It is.
So with
Nuts.
this team. But the reason
I
why
mean, it's just a crazy thing to say, whether it's true or not.
it's
wait, no. If it's true, that's not that crazy. Okay.
It's not. I'm not saying this is because he's bad, but I'm saying, like, it's Russ.
You're talking about on this crew specifically.
Yes,
talking
because
about on this crew
Julian Strother has to play those minutes with Murray and with Russ. That makes sense. Like, you can't have CB on the court with Russ a lot, if that makes sense. Just
okay,
because, like,
you said that he can't play without Jokic. You didn't say he can't play with Russ.
It's just because it's just the limitation they have at the big position.
It's just that you Nuggets guys have a way of making it seem like these guys couldn't. No,
I never said that. That's not what I said.
These guys can tie their shoes.
Well, that's the thing. I didn't say any of that. You took that. I didn't say any of that.
But you're insinuating that.
I'm insinuating that he cannot play next to Russ.
You're heavily insinuating that these guys can't do anything.
So again, I want to clear this up for anybody that might have heard something I didn't say. He has to, because he cannot play heavy minutes with Russ and Peyton Watson. So the only way to do that is to play next to Joker.
Jokic and Russ look all right together.
Yes,
but Jokic and Strother look all right together.
No, Jokic and Russ look good together because Russ is a tremendous passer, and, like, the defense is what helps. Their offense somewhat falls apart to a degree, but it's the defense that gets a little better. Anyway, slide over, please. So then now you can see just kind of the layout. This is how many percentage of the minutes across the board that they spend with Luka. But again, they look at their rotation, look at the players they have on the roster: Kyrie Irving, Klay Thompson, PJ, Gafford, Lively, Najee Marshall. They have built their roster to have some sustainability without Luka on the court. So this is how you can see the distribution ways across the board for those players in particular. And you can slide over one more.
Jokic is still higher, though.
For 2 players, yes, for 2 players, for Michael Porter Jr. and for Christian Brown. Again, that goes to the way they have to play. Yes, because of the roster. Because if you go past Russell Westbrook, Peyton Watson, Julian Strother, they just don't have the same level of ball creators, play creators, initiators, all those other things. There's levels to that. And then now you can see what it looks like with Dame. Obviously, Chris Middleton's been hurt this whole year. So there you go. That's the layout. That's how it looks. So there's difference with 2 players on the Nuggets, and there's very particular lineup reasons why it goes that way.
Is there a reason why SGA, Jason Tatum, or Joel's hurt, but other guys aren't on here?
Well, I think Ryan just did the 3 leading MVP candidates, and and also the Mavs fan base has been the one complaining about this the most. They're saying that Jokic is getting boosted by the organization. Yeah. And then Aaron Gordon was hurt too. Somebody reminded me. Aaron Gordon also been in and out of the lineup. So there's just several reasons why the team looks like that.
I just have a difficult time with the idea that you could be the league MVP and your team rolling without you. I've always had a problem with that. There's a reason why Joel Embiid didn't win the league MVP in 22, because he was out 11 games. They won 8 of those 11 games when he was out the lineup. They were rolling without him. Luka Doncic, I think they lost once with him out the lineup. That doesn't mean that they're not a better team with him on the floor, because they are. But with him out of the lineup, they are winning. That means that, streak. Yeah. Then which suggests to me that how that's what the league MVP has always been. It's always been about winning. Sure, we've had some anomalies like Joker in 22, like Russ in 17, but for the most part, The MVP is about winning. How do you affect winning? And if a team has a guy, their best player is off the floor and they're still rolling without him, that doesn't mean that they're better, but we are still winning. We're just winning in a different way. How are you the most valuable player in the league? How is that possible?
I'm curious to know what's more important to y'all. Is it more like what shows more in a player? Is it how bad they are without them or how good they are with them?
Well, that's
my question.
How good they are with them. Well, I mean,
Yeah.
that's the floor. That's the
To
floor
answer your
raising.
question,
That's the
Ron, the
floor
biggest
raising
floor
versus
raiser,
ceiling
we can't take Joker out of this. We can't take Joker out of the floor raising conversation off the strength of everything that he does.
Well,
and how
I
much
said
better.
ceiling raisers, not floor
That's what I'm
raisers.
talking about.
So,
I
to
apologize.
Ceiling
differentiate
raisers are a
it,
different conversation.
to
Yeah.
differentiate
Ceiling
it,
raisers,
I think Jokic is the answer for both.
how good can you raise a team that's actually good, as opposed to how good can you raise a team that's actually bad? The Nuggets are actually bad, so that's why I said let's leave Jokic out of this.
But I think to Marge's point, though, when they have a competent team that's like legitimate, then Jokic raises them to like beat everyone else in the NBA.
Here's
So
my
that's where the
question.
difference is.
Here's my question with the Denver Nuggets, because we really haven't seen the Denver Nuggets without Joker. What I mean when I say this is Joker's on the bench, Mars. We know Joker's coming back in the lineup. Is that fair?
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen Joker out of the lineup for an extended period of time, which means that now with him being out of the lineup, we got to switch up our style. Jamal Murray may have to take the dominant space on the floor. We got to start running more stuff for Michael Porter Jr. We haven't seen Joker out of the lineup, so we don't really know what this team could do without Joker, because we always know, okay, Joker's going to sit on the sideline for 2 or 3 minutes. He's going to sit on the sideline for 5 minutes, but he's coming back. We haven't seen Joker out of the lineup for 10 games like we've seen Joel Embiid. We haven't seen Joker out of the lineup for an extended period of time like we've seen with Luka. So we don't really know what this team would look like, because the roles would have to change from these guys.
Yeah, I can get with that. I mean, it's hard to get a reliable sample when you're dealing with 10 minutes a game, as opposed to someone who's missing half the season every year. So I can understand that, but that's why I think all of these like on-off numbers, like you're gonna have to extend them out beyond the first 20 games of a season, if you want anything sort of reliable. But the trends of Jokic in the regular season has been this for what is this now, 5-6 years maybe. So like it's been a consistent. It's been a consistent regular season trend of Jokic, and I think at that point you've probably got enough minutes, enough variation in rosters, enough different personnel to where you can see he's probably the common denominator in terms of regular season performance. Now, my question is why these on-off numbers don't look this drastic in the postseason, but that's a whole different discussion that I don't think we really have time to get into today. But I think there might be something to that. Is all I'm really saying. But I do think ceiling raising, I think how good your team is with you is more important than how bad they are without you. If you're a high minute player, they're going to be with you more often than they're going to be without you. So if they're really, really good with you, I think that's more important. I'm always going to value ceiling raising over floor raising. I think that's why a lot of the opinions I have are the ones I have. But I also think you can play ceiling. Ceiling raising is like what Chill said, good basketball, playing winning basketball. I think winning basketball is ceiling raising basketball. I think you can be a great floor raiser and not necessarily be playing winning basketball. I think that's partially because of responsibilities. But I think if you play good ceiling raising basketball, that's winning basketball no matter how much your team is actually winning. Because sometimes you have to play bad basketball to win games, like in terms of just how bad the roster is. If you want to just win games, you might have to play bad basketball. But that's not going to translate to success at the highest level. Whereas if you play winning basketball, you might lose games, but once you have competent talent, competent pieces, I do think that's a recipe for success. So I do think ceiling raising is more important. And in terms of like the best ceiling raisers, I think Jokic, I think Giannis, I think Tatum, I think SGA, I think Kevin Durant, Anthony Davis when he's all the way dialed in on defense, that's a ceiling raiser. Like those type of players, that's ceiling raisers to me. So
well, they're typically are you typically both or typically more one? Like that makes sense.
I mean, I think you're typically more one. Like I think your most players are more one than the other. Now I think it's different for different players in terms of which one they are. And then some players are like all-time great at both, even if they are more one.
But what is that though? What makes a player like both an elite ceiling and floor raiser? Like is there I think it's the playmaking aspect personally for me. That is the difference between both of those things. I think there's levels to how high you can go. Like I think Jordan, LeBron, Magic, like I think there's a level, you know, Chilk and Larry Bird, like there's players that are just like their playmaking what makes the floor so high, but then like maybe it's like the efficiency in which the playmaking what it leads to, and then the scoring. Like I think if you have both of those things, it just makes it to where like the ceiling, the place the team can get to, I can create an offense just that much more easier than you can. And I think traditionally, when I look at like Jordan, LeBron, Magic, I think those were probably the biggest examples of that in terms of the older era. And then obviously with LeBron, I think Steph is an example of that. But I don't know.
A player's floor raising and his ceiling raising is his versatility. What are we lacking? And what can he provide when we're lacking this? Like a utility player. So if we can't get shots up, okay, he's the guy that we go to for buckets. We need rebounding because the team is going on a run and they're killing us on the glass. Okay, he gets on the glass. He does everything that we lack, whenever that is at any point in the game when we're lacking that, he does it. And he keeps us competitive as opposed to we already rolling without this guy. Like that super chat that Ron just had up about the fact that Luka doesn't have to carry like this one right here.
You want to read it, Chill?
Please. Luka finally has a team that doesn't fall off a cliff without him. And now the conversation is how he can't be the MVP because he doesn't have to carry. Well, here's the difference. The difference is that he's off the floor. When he's on the floor, he doesn't have to do as much. I said this to you guys last year when he was 35. 9-9, some nonsense like that. My first inclination is, why does Luka have to do as much as he's doing? There's no reason why he has to do that much. And if I'm going back to this, it has nothing to do with him carrying. He was off the floor. He wasn't playing at all, and they were rolling. It's not that he was on the floor and he didn't have to do as much. No, he's not even playing, and they're rolling. Because when he's on the floor, his impact is still there. You still have to pay attention to him. You still have to guard him. You still have to be responsible for Luka. Well, if he's not on the floor, and then now, like we just got finished talking about, we got guys who now have to step up their roles because Luka's been out for an extended period of time. Those two things are not the same.
All right, y'all. We got a couple more super chats that I want to go ahead and get around to. Bilal Century said, Dallas is the best watch in today's NBA. As a purist, they give you everything to watch on offense. Dunks, lobs, ISOs, mid-range threes, motion sets, tons of role players pitching in, and pretty good defense. Very refreshing.
GM did an incredible job.
I think
their GM done a great job.
Would like to have a word with you guys.
Their offense isn't as good though.
Oklahoma City's offense.
Mm-mm.
And the reason why
when they have Chet, they're really fun to watch.
Well, not only that, Mars, I feel like their defense creates a lot of their offense. Their defense speeds the game up. I mean, that's basketball 101 right there. Getting in the passing lanes. Poking the ball away, 3-second violations. I'm sorry, jump balls and things like that create more offense for them. I think that's basketball at its finest with Oklahoma City. They don't just stand behind the ball.
No, for sure. I wasn't discrediting that, but just their offense is just functionally just also just not as good, which is some of their issue. But yeah, I think the Mavs have been incredible to watch.
See, Swiper, you were quick to give credit to the GM instead of the credit to the fact that they are getting coached by a real hooper.
Oh, you talking about J-Kid? Yeah, J-Kid deserves credit too.
Yes, he is. That's a.
But I was saying they got 2 5s that can go though, Ox. They got 2 5s that can go. They got good wings that can go.
When you now credit to the GM 100%. When you give a coach somebody that can actually some players that can play some ball and you let that coach do his thing.
Yep,
great, good basketball to watch.
Mm-hmm.
I did not think about that, Ox. I did not think about the fact that you got ballers, a baller who's coaching. My fault, Ron.
Shout out to everybody that's watching on Twitter. Shout out to everybody that's here on YouTube. And shout out to our Hall of Famers, KT, Hunting Gilgores, Multi Kenny, Cobra Son of Raditz. KT, can't wait to see you on playback tomorrow night with us. But in the meantime, make sure you guys like the video. All right. Teddy Hart said Joker could realistically end up with more MVPs than Bron, maybe even MJ, never Kareem, because of instances of historical voter bias and fatigue. Voters overall have
irreparably.
I'm sorry, it's like a stain on my computer. I couldn't see that word.
Wipe it off, Ron.
Stained how future gens will view errors they weren't alive to see. Potatoes and tomatoes and any other thing that you throw. That
LeBron should have won 5 straight. Jordan should have won. I don't care what Chill says. He should have won the one that Malone won. I'd argue he should have won the one that Barkley won, but that's just me though. I just don't care about.
You think he should have won it in '98?
I don't care about seeding. That means nothing to me. I said this years
Well,
ago.
they both were the number 1 seed. So in '98,
What?
they both were the number 1 seed in '98.
I know. I don't. But I'm saying I don't care about like. I was talking about outside of that. I just don't care about
Right.
Well, MJ should have won it in '97 for sure.
That's where I'm at with it. I thought they got those two wrong. I thought Jay should have won it in '96 and '97. Malone should have won it in '98.
Jordan should have minimum 6, at least 7.
What years would you think Jay should have won it? So
Jordan,
Jay
Barkley
won
should
it
not
in
have
88.
won it over Jordan. Not even
in '93.
No, absolutely not. I think Barkley was incredible that year, but no, that's easily Jordan should have won that one. I think the narrative at that point in time. I think the way it was working with Barkley going to the Suns. Yeah. I think he had his most dominant offensive season that year. Again, as y'all said, I think he was better than Malone at his apex. So obviously, I'm very high on Charles Barkley, but he still wasn't Michael Jordan. As soon as Michael Jordan stepped back, let me tell you how this should have worked, Chill. No troll. As soon as Michael Jordan stepped onto the league, when he came back from the suspension for gambling
in '95, sure,
he should have won the MVP. He should have won the MVP the next year. Should have won the MVP after that. Should have kept winning the MVP. He was the best player in the sport, and like the numbers backed it up. He's better than everybody. He's better than everyone. But
being better than everybody doesn't mean that you're the league MVP.
He had a better year than Malone did.
Chill and Swiper. I'm gonna get on to this next super chat because we got a segment we got to get into. Okay. SMN RNDM said Jokic is the best player, no question. In my opinion, he should get MVP. Last BWMY.
Best in the world. Did he mean? Maybe I don't know. Somebody can decipher that one.
It's supposed to be BT. It's supposed to be BTWY.
Okay.
Best in the world. That's what it's
BITW.
So last best in the world argument wasn't even against Jokic. It was just an example I used. What I meant was that plus minus is nothing more than numbers. What happened to watching a game?
Well, we watched the game, and if you just watch the game, I mean, I watched the game, and it doesn't take long for me to recognize Joker is the best player in the game. Just from the eye test, Joker is better than Giannis. He's better than Jason Tatum. He's better than SGA. He just does more. He's just a better player than those guys. But then you have to add in the production. Like, what is Joker producing? And the numbers prove it.
All right, y'all, let's go ahead and get into it. It's time for the panel to make their prize picks of the day. Are you not familiar with prize picks? Well, let me put you on game. Because as basketball fans, the NBA season is back, and so are the endless ways to play at prize picks. The season's just tipping off, which means it's your opportunity to pick your favorite players on your favorite teams and select the matchups that are even more thrilling. Who's the go-to man when it's time to stuff the stat sheet? Who's knocking down threes from deep like Steph Curry? Who's dropping no-look dimes like Jokic? Who's getting easy layups like Giannis? Well, with PrizePicks, you can play daily NBA contests and test your hoop knowledge by choosing the player projections for every stat line imaginable. Are you a rookie in the game? No worries, my friend. Here's the playbook. Download the PrizePicks app. Sign up using code PANEL, and new customers will receive a special bonus every time they join the action. And as you can see on the screen, that bonus is you get $50 instantly when you play just $5, only when you use code PANEL. And every day on our show, we'll be locking up our picks and our lineups and sharing to you guys the plays of the night that will show you guys our prize picks and show you how the payouts can be much sweeter than a buzzer-beating step-back three. So let's go ahead and get into it, y'all.
Yeah.
Here we are. Let's cue it up. All right.
That's a layup.
Christmas Day special? You want to zoom in on that Christmas Day special?
Yeah, but we got to wait 10 days.
Yeah. But I just want to see what it is.
That's a layup.
It's the point from Jokic. Can't wait to run that.
Yeah, that's a layup.
As you guys can see, you have 9 days to go ahead and make that happen. And you can add that to any of your contests that you want. Like, we can add it today, but we'll save that for when the Christmas season gets a little more riper. As of right now, Chill, Ox, Mars isn't here. So, Swiper, I might need you to step in too. And we got to make some things happen. So let's do it. I am easily going to take LaMelo Ball more than 24 points.
I know it.
like, come on.
Who they play? It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
To be honest with you.
And they play Philly. Come on.
They play Philly.
I mean, that's so easy. I would like to make that our group pick, and I would like to make another pick. Unless you guys don't want to, then we can.
That Donovan Mitchell. What else you got? Because I'm liking that Donovan Mitchell 4.5 assists. I'm definitely going more with that one.
You want that shit?
Let me see what else you got, Ox. But before I just walked in the club. Hold on. She's nice, but let me see what else is in there.
Chill. Sometimes you don't need to see no more. I walked in the club. I seen that 24 points. You come home with me. Come on.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Facts. We leaving. Get to the club at 11. Gone by 12.
That Kessler, that Walker Kessler, 20 points and rebounds. I don't know if I like that. I think that might be a little bit less.
Well, they're playing against the Clippers. Zubac.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that. I think
Hayward Highsmith, 1 turnover.
The last time Chill chose turnovers, last Friday.
You see Rudy Gobert last night?
Garbage.
Give him touches. Oh man, I'm sick.
Jimmy
It's crazy too. It's crazy that Mars would come up with that, but then when he goes 7 for 9 and only misses 2 shots around the rim and doesn't fumble anything,
He shouldn't miss any shots. Here we go.
Here we go with the bullshit with Mars. It's always this nonsense.
If I was 7-1 and I got nothing but layups and dunks open, I'm sorry. You should be shooting 75% minimum.
Well, to bring things into context, Chill chose Rudy Gobert to have more than 2 turnovers last Friday. And Rudy Gobert had 0 turnovers. So shout out Rudy protecting the ball. And I need you guys to protect your picks a little better because as of right now, I'm 4-3. Mars is 3-4. Ox is 2-5. And Chill, my friend, you're 1-6.
Garbage.
All right. Well, I'm putting my undefeated 2-0 that I never get mentioned for some reason.
Come on, Swiper. As a matter of fact, let's go, Swiper.
I'm taking more on Donovan Mitchell, averaging 30 points a game versus the Nets in the last 2 seasons.
More?
Yes.
That's because Ben ain't been there. That's because Ben ain't been there. That's the only reason that's happened.
Hold on, I'll get you. I'll find you.
What's that Zubac I seen? What is that? 11 rebounds?
Yep, I'm taking that. I already got that, so I believe it alone.
Wait, hold on. No, I want that, Swiper.
It's too late. You picked already, Ron.
I seen her Ox. That's that. I got to step off of her Ox. That's you right there.
That's one of my personals.
Hold on, that's crazy. Hey, hold on. Can you click that Donovan Mitchell though, and can we
the
see
points,
what the
right?
defense like? Yeah.
Okay.
He kills
17 and that. So Swiper, which one do you want? Do you want it?
You want the Goblin? That's crazy.
Wait, what's the difference?
You said he averages 30. You might as well take that.
He averages 30. He averages 30.3. So no, I'm not taking more on 30.5.
He gonna get 30.
No, it says 30.5. I'm y'all understand who I am.
Swiper boring. See, this is
No. I'm smart. I'm taking more on 23.5. Yes.
Thank you, Swiper. And that will get us the regular payout.
I'm
you gotta
everything gotta be a demon, Mars.
Records and all I do is take demons. You guys should be ashamed.
It's all right, Mars.
Taking these easy picks. I might as well just take every goblin pick that's available and just say
I'm taking 60% of the.
You do it anyway, Mars.
No, I take the demon picks, the ones that are harder to win. I could just take every goblin pick and be like, oh, my record's the best. Strength of schedule matters.
Strength of schedule.
Mars,
I'm Alabama. I'm Alabama. Give me Florida International. I want to get into playoffs. I don't care about none of that.
Mars,
Alabama
what you want, Mars?
Show me the demon picks. That's what I need to see. I need to see some demon picks.
I can't just search the demons. Give me a team.
Wait, are these the only games available?
So Philly and Charlotte, Utah.
Click on the schedule up there.
So we got 3 games. It's 3 games. Oh no, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 games today. These 2 right here.
I thought there was no games today. Okay.
Are there any games today?
Yeah, 6 games today.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't think so. What's Lonzo Ball at? Let's go to Toronto and Chicago. Let's find some Lonzo.
Yo.
I had to see me.
There you go, Demon Kobe.
1.5 steals.
That's the only. Oh wait, what's the demon for threes? Yeah,
for
5 threes.
Oh,
Thank
my
you.
God.
5 threes. Thank you very much.
You
Kobe
got
White,
it.
5 threes. I believe in him.
You got it, March.
There we go.
Against Toronto.
Against anyone.
Chill,
Kobe
you
White got me.
chill. Do you want that Zubac? You can get that Zubac.
You sure I can have it?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
sure.
I'll take that off your hands. Yes.
No, wait. What is it? What is it?
11 rebounds. I'm gonna
11
go more.
rebounds.
I think
Against
I
Utah.
think
Versus
he
who?
goes down more than
Versus who?
against
Walker
yeah.
Kessler in the Utah Jazz.
I'm gonna take
Is
more.
the game gonna be over by the fourth quarter?
I don't think so.
Mm.
Mm-mm.
You know that boy ain't getting no damn block.
He'll come weak side. Hold on.
I'm taking.
Is
Oh,
that
that's the
Jamal
one right there.
threes actually
Yes.
again?
I'm looking at the steals. DeMar DeRozan is not giving me 2 steals. He's not.
Are you sure?
That's why you can't go less because they know he's not. That's why you gotta take the risk, but you scared.
Here we go.
Who y'all play tonight? Denver?
Yeah, you know he do the Jokic in there.
What do you do?
So we got I'm taking DeMontis Demon pick 44.5 PRA. Let's do that.
All right, y'all.
Right there.
There you have it. We have an entry fee of $20 that will turn into winnings of $520. And this is all courtesy of LaMelo Ball's 24 points being more. Donovan Mitchell's 23.5 points being more. Kobe White's demon pick of 4.5 threes being more. Mr. Zubac, 11 rebounds being more. And Domantas Sabonis, 44.5 PRA being more.
How
Yes,
much more would
ladies
it
and
have
gentlemen.
been if Swiper wasn't scared and took the demon pick on Donovan Mitchell's points?
Probably be like around 800-900.
It might be more than
Okay,
that.
cool.
It might double up.
Interesting.
Take the man. Oh.
All right, y'all. Well, this is what we at. We're gonna go ahead and send this through. Yes, once again, we are being more merchants today, but that's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Successfully went through, guys.
Thank you.
We locked in. We locked
Good
in.
work, guys. Good work.
All right, that is perfect timing because as of right now, it's time for us to run our comments of the week. We got our top 5 comments of the week. Appreciate everybody for tapping in. Appreciate everybody for leaving comments. Appreciate everybody for enjoying the panel. Like the video, subscribe if you haven't. And yet again, this show is brought to you by PrizePicks. So let's go ahead and get into it. The first comment we have. There we go, fellas. The first comment we have is by Prince DJ.
Mm-hmm.
Prince said this. He said, I don't know how to describe Penn because sometimes he says the most philosophical things, which I appreciate. But then he makes takes like this Kobe and Steph take, making me wonder if he knows anything about basketball. I'm not going to bash him because I don't care to entertain that argument, but I will blame Ron.
Your fault, Ron.
That's the
You
safe
know
thing to do. Safe thing to do.
Yeah,
Ron.
blaming Ron is like
Absolutely.
it's like you can't really go wrong if you blame Ron.
So that's a goblin pick?
You can't.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. It's
Blaming Ron is like a guaranteed hit. So
it's Joker scoring a half a point on Christmas. That's what that is. Bet on that.
Well, guess what? Just for you, Prince DJ, I'm having Penn up for the rest of the month.
It's not for real though. That's really like a Joker 5.5 PRA. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, bet that.
Against middle schoolers. You know?
Yeah, take that bet.
Y'all
He
got it,
lost
y'all.
me.
Blame
That
Ron.
conversation, Mars, that you had with him. He lost me with Steve Nash. I was out after that. I didn't hear what he said after Steve Nash.
I'm tired of the way people talk about Steve Nash. People swear Steve Nash wasn't that good. Man, I'm getting
Steve
sick.
Nash was awesome. He just wasn't better than Bryant. That's all. He wasn't better than a couple of players. That doesn't mean he wasn't fantastic. No, he wasn't. No.
Penn is absolutely necessary though, y'all.
Yes, he is.
And you know, it's always good to have a different point of view, regardless of how much me and him disagree. I think his point of view was very necessary.
Mm-hmm.
Very necessary.
We got another comment. Shout out Prince DJ. You've been selected twice. You got to be a fortunate man to win the lottery twice.
Who's glazing Prince DJ like this?
He said, "This is the first and last time I'm going to comment on Bronny. So, Ron, you are starting to sound like Gil. When anyone comments on Bronny and you don't agree with what they are saying, you get mad and take it personally. All I hear people say is, quote unquote, treat Bronny like the 55th pick that he is. And I will, which means I won't talk about him. Because like Mars said, nobody, and that nobody includes you, Ron, watches the G League. So that agenda you tried to push in the beginning was crazy. Even if you believe Bronny is better than Gabe, it would be wild for the Lakers to replace bad with bad. So chill out, Ron."
I stand with Prince DJ. I stand with Prince DJ on that one.
Only thing about that is the replace bad with bad. It's not equal. It's not equal bad. If we can develop Bronny, you know what I'm saying, for next season, or even if we're developing him to play some heavy minutes late in the season when we might be, I don't know, resting, not resting, but needing to cover for D'Lo or Austin or something, you know what I'm saying? So where it's, I think Gabe doesn't really have much room to grow. I think Bronny does. So that bad for bad isn't equal bad.
And once again, I never advocated for them to cut Gabe, trade Gabe, or I have advocated for them to bench Gabe, but to necessarily replace them with Bronny, I never said that. All I said was I believe Bronny can do the same thing, if not better.
Oh, you're playing politics so bad right now.
I'm not. Go back and find a time where I said get rid of Gabe and put Bronny in. All I said was Bronny can do the same thing Gabe Vincent does.
Yeah, but
what's the difference, Ron?
You're saying that to say what, Ron?
Okay, you saying that to say what, Ron? Okay, if we take out Gabe, what happens if we put Bronny?
The same thing.
So what you saying, Ron?
No, what I'm saying is I guess Bronny's an NBA level player then. Don't say Bronny's not an NBA level player, but then sit here and say Gabe Vincent is. If he can do the same thing as Gabe Vincent, he's an NBA level player.
First of all, the idea that you're saying that he could do the same thing that Gabe Vincent does is just not true. Let's start there because he can't.
Right. We don't got to get into this right now.
I'm not going to argue that part.
Gabe let's please not get into this.
Please. I'm not about to have a Gabe Vincent argument. Like the proof is right there. But Vince G 13 sent through a chat, and Vince G said, Chill said he didn't say that Kawhi didn't love basketball. Kawhi is one of my favorite players, so I remember when he said that dumb shit.
Did you say that dumb shit?
Apparently you said that dumb shit. I
said that Kawhi didn't love basketball.
That's what Vince G13 remembers.
Maybe he doesn't.
Cooked.
I don't know if he does. I don't know. Maybe he doesn't love the game.
Shout out to everybody that loves the game. We got another super chat from the Sage 1123. The Sage said, so Jokic is allowed to be bad at defense because, quote unquote, we already know he's bad. But Luka, who we also already know is bad, that's all we talk about. The only thing we talk about for Luka, no one except Mars praises Luka at all. All we hear is Luka's bad at defense, therefore he's a bum. Even though Luka has quick hands, is a good post defender, and again, we give Luka no credit. But Jokic having fast hands, he gets so much credit, and it's so crazy how the standard changes for Jokic. It's actually insane. Swiper, who says Jokic is a good defender based on the DEMP stat of 1.5, that's it. But the same Swiper would tell you Luka is a bad defender with that same stat of 1.4. So just shows his bias. He's cherry picking stats for his king, the guy he gets on his knees for. He's never brought that stat up for Luka, but to defend his king, he'll do it. Damn.
I think I try my hardest to hold Luka and Jokic and everybody that doesn't play defense accountable.
Why is Luka bad at defense? What's my issue with Luka being bad at defense?
He's lazy and he doesn't try.
That's it. It's not that he can't do it. He just doesn't. That's my problem with him. That's it right there. He doesn't do it. It's not that he can't do it. He doesn't. And that's worse.
But what about his 1.4 BEMP?
It's 1.3. It's 1.3 now.
It's the fact that he doesn't do it. That's my issue with him. And the fact that he doesn't do it, well, the fact that he's now gotten back in the lineup, and it looks like he's putting in more effort defensively. What we saw earlier in the season, there's no way you could tell me that Luka is giving effort. No way.
Chill, but what about his good hands?
Luka's got great hands when he decides to play defense, when he decides to give consistent effort. That's the difference between, and we've had this conversation already about Joker. That's the difference. Joker just can't. Mars and I had this conversation about being able to run. When we run a 100-yard dash, Mars, I'm really trying to run as fast as you. I can't though. That's the problem. I just can't run as fast as you. I damn sure I'm trying. This dude actually can run fast. He's just not trying all the time. And
but if he still beats you in the race, he's still better than you, right?
Right.
That's the same thing with Luka, and that's why we've disagreed the whole time. Because like your thing with Luka has been, he's the worst defender ever because he should be better but doesn't try. And my argument against that has been, even without trying, he's still better than some people. So him not being as good as he should be doesn't then make him worse than someone who is trying their hardest. I disagree. Yes,
it does, man.
If I jog and beat you in a race, you don't get to say, "Hey, well, I'm faster because I tried my hardest." No, I still won. I'm still better than you, even without trying.
You're better than me. You're better than me, sure. And you're not even trying. And you're not even trying.
You can be better than someone without trying.
I get that part. So if that's true, then why is why is Luka, even though he's not trying, why isn't that more of an indictment on him? Because how much better can you be if you actually tried harder?
You can call it an I'm not. See,
why isn't it more of an indictment on him? That part I don't get.
Now we're discussing two different things. I have no problem with it being an indictment. Cool.
I get your
be
point,
more mad at Luka because he could be better because he doesn't try. Fine. My argument is he's not the worst ever. We can be more mad at him because he can give more, sure. But saying he's the worst ever, I can't say it's not objectively true because there's no objective measures. I just disagree with the fact that he's the worst ever. That's what I disagree with. Can you be more mad at him than Trae Young because Trae Young actually puts in more effort? Sure, be more mad at Luka. Right. But then don't say Trae Young's better than him. Or don't say Anthony Simons is better than him because they try more. Because that's where I disagree with you. Not about who should get cooked more for being bad on defense. Fine, cook Luka more than you cook anyone because he doesn't give enough effort. But cooking someone doesn't then mean they're worse than that person. That just means you're more angry at them because you had a higher expectation. If you have no expectations of someone, you don't get mad at them when they underachieve. When you have expectations of someone, you get mad at them for underachieving. You being mad at Luka for not being as good as he can be then doesn't mean he's worse than someone just because he could be better. Because that's where we disagree.
And his absolutely.
I think Luka's actually been better. Like
he has been.
You can't go from 1.4 to 1.3 and actually get better.
No, but this is why that stat is disgusting. No, that stat is disgusting because last season they had their formula for EPM. They've had their formula for EPM for like 4 or 5 years. Jokic was leading the league in EPM every year, as you know, advanced style Jokic leads. Last season, Jokic doesn't lead the league in EPM. All of a sudden, the formula is different. I don't know why last season was the final year. They was like, I don't know, this formula is a bit shaky.
What is
they changed the formula, and guess who's leading the league in EPM?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out with you.
What a surprise! Because they changed the formula from what you're doing to it's now a predictive based stat. So we're gonna predict how good you're going to be. So now Jokic is leading the league in EPM again because it's now a prediction. And that's why his defensive EPM is now plus 1.5 or 1.6, whatever it is. Because it's a prediction of how good he's going to be on defense. When last season, when Shea was leading the league in EPM, that's unreliable. Now we've got to change the formula. It's just very interesting. And then when you take out the estimate part of it and you look at defensive EPM, Jokic's defensive EPM is actually worse than Luka's. So, I don't know. Whatever. Stupid stat.
I did notice, Mars, that you stay on Joker about things getting changed, specifically when Joker.
It's weird to me.
I'm trying to figure out what the agenda is here. I'm trying to make sure I'm trying to understand what the agenda is here.
He's really good. I think he's the best in the world. I don't think you have to keep changing advanced stats because all of a sudden, and I'm not saying they changed it because Jokic wasn't leading in the last year. I just think it's coincidental time. That's all I think. And I think they were very quick to change the formulas for box plus minus. When Russell Westbrook destroyed the formula and led all time in box plus minus, and that was fine. But Jokic has been leading history in box plus minus for like 4 seasons, and nothing's been changed because apparently that's viable, even though he has 3 of the top 10 defensive box plus minus seasons in history. That's not worth a change. But Russell Westbrook leads in box plus minus, got the stat changed in 2 months. So coincidental. That's what I'm saying. Coincidental.
So do they change it for Joker or do they not change it for Joker? Because
I don't know what they do. I just think
what's going on here?
I just think it's coincidental that when Jokic is no longer leading in a stat, it changes. And when Jokic is leading in a stat that he clearly shouldn't be leading in, it doesn't change. But when other players lead in a stat that they apparently shouldn't be leading in, the stat gets changed. That's what my issue. That's what my issue is. That's my concern. And maybe I would want to talk to the creator of these stats to understand why they changed it. Maybe the person who created EPM will actually come and tell me they were planning on changing the formula for next season anyway. It was just coincidental timing. I don't know. I just find it interesting. That's what I'm saying. I just find it interesting.
All right, y'all. We have one more comment of the week. And this is the 5th and final comment from Aria Scola 17771. Aria said Giannis and Jokic are 500 mid-teams. It says a lot about them. To Jokic's credit, give him Dame and he would win the West likely. Giannis with 1 assist versus the Celtics in the biggest game of the year. He has a top 75 superstar as his running mate, and they are average. That, sorry to say, is on him. Celtics before Bird were 29-53, with rookie Larry Bird 61-21. Giannis makes nobody better. Once his athleticism goes, it's a wrap. And that's gonna come sooner rather than later. Still behind Duncan, KG, Dirk, Malone, and Pettit, all time at the position.
Barkley too.
He's the 6th best power forward ever.
Barkley too.
Barkley ain't bad in Giannis.
All right, y'all. Well, that was the top 5 comments of the week. I appreciate y'all for participating and sending those through. And we will catch you at the same time next week.
Yay. Good work, guys.
All right, y'all. So we see the title of the show. It's about time to get into it. The Golden State Warriors jumped into the trade market. Remember, there was a lot of rumbling about them wanting to add a star player and ready to just upgrade the roster in general. The Golden State Warriors still believe that their championship window is open as long as they have Steph Curry and Draymond Green on their roster, and they're looking for a competent star to add. Now, they just made a trade for Dennis Schroder. I don't know if this is the star that they were intending to get, but I believe they got a good player. But here goes the trade details, ladies and gentlemen. Feast your eyes on the screen. The Brooklyn Nets and the Golden State Warriors swapped out. Well, the Warriors got Dennis Schroder and Miami's 2nd-round pick in 2025. And the Brooklyn Nets received DeAnthony Melton, Reese Beekman, and then they received 3 unprotected 2nd-round picks, 2 from Atlanta, 26-28, and a 29 unprotected 2nd-round pick from the Warriors. Fellas, how are we feeling about this?
It's
I don't
cool.
hate it. I don't hate it.
They're not going to win a chip because they got Dennis Schroder. But it addresses a need in terms of they need another ball handler, they need another creator. It definitely addresses that need. Curious to see like how lineups work in terms of what Steve Kerr goes to, because Dennis Schroeder's, how tall is Dennis Schroder? Like 6'2", 6'3"?
Yeah, 6'1",
Shorter than
6'2".
Steph. Know that.
Yeah, it's probably like 6'2". So I don't know how much he's going to play alongside Steph, and then how valuable is he going to be in the minutes without Steph in terms of being that on-ball creator. I don't know. And also I think they're putting a lot of stock in like his 3-point shooting being sustainable for what it's been this season. I think he's at 39%. Not sure if he's really that caliber of shooter, especially when you look historically throughout his career. So I think they're betting on a few things, but I do think he helps them. But I think they do need a legitimate advantage creator beyond Dennis Schroder if they're serious about contending. But I do think he's a star. And for the price they gave up is you do this trade.
Nothing.
They gave up someone who wasn't even playing.
They gave
up 2 players who weren't playing for them and some second rounders. Like, they'll be fine.
Right.
Like,
that can't be done. Obviously, like if they're really trying to make some moves, this can't be the big move they're making. This has to be the first of a few or the first of a couple. I like it though. Like I'm with you, Mars. I like the move. I think it helps them, with their ball handling situation, getting Steph, getting those guys off the ball, getting pods out the way a little bit. But I don't think it's really a big move. I don't think it makes too much of a difference. So I want to see what else they're going to do. They have to do something else, right?
Yes, they do. I mean, the Warriors
Ken
shot.
told me that the intention is to start him. That's
I saw some reports on that too.
Yeah,
Well, Steve Kerr loves him. Steve Kerr loves him. So I don't think that he's going to be a dude that's going to get in a rotation and only play sparing minutes. No, Steve Kerr loves him. So I wouldn't be surprised if he started to cut more into Pods' minutes. Yesterday, watching that Golden State game,
for sure, chill.
I think he cuts into Pods' minutes because Steve Kerr loves him. I mean, it's a Golden State Warriors team that, they shot the long ball, I think, at 50% in the first quarter, and they were still down by 20 because they don't have anybody else scoring besides Steph Curry. They don't. I mean, he was off the floor, like I said, for those 5 minutes in the first quarter, and in the process of him being off the floor, I mean, you got Draymond hitting threes. How much more are you going to rely on that? Because I know for a fact that if that's what you plan on relying on, I don't see you winning much. I don't see you winning much at all if you're going to rely on that. And they scored 133 yesterday and they still lost. We're scoring 133 points. So they shot the long ball. You add Dennis Schroder, who gives you another ball handler, gives you another downhill guy, gives you a guy who's going to compete on defense, which is great. Sure, I can get with that. However, you still need that extra guy who we can rely consistently on to get buckets. Because I'm not getting 29 from Andrew Wiggins on the regular. I'm not getting 26 a game from Andrew Wiggins on the regular. That's not happening. And this Golden State Warriors team, they rely on their defense more than their offense. That's why they was rolling. But they haven't been. I think they lost 8 of their last 10, including 5 straight. And their defense is slipped. They gave up 143 yesterday. They couldn't guard the long ball line. And I don't know how much Dennis Schroder is going to contribute to their defense because that's been their calling card this year.
Yeah, I think this is a major move for the Warriors.
Yep.
And I think it's obviously a step in the like the Warriors have been better than everybody expected them to be. This is another step in the direction that they're trying to head. I can almost guarantee they're not done because they're not sold on Kuminga. I don't even think they're sold on Wiggins. So I think we could see a
what
package.
What is Wiggins still doing there, Ron? What is Wiggins still doing on the roster? That was the reason why he ain't playing the Olympics because they were looking to move him. But meanwhile, he's back on the roster. He's been playing good. I'm not gonna argue that. He's been playing really good. But like, is it because it's early? I thought they were trading him this summer. So maybe they did this to get him to a point where he looks better. Like me and Ox had this conversation about the used car, where okay, I'm gonna clean up this car, I'm gonna make it look better, and then I'm gonna put it on the market. It really didn't look that good in the summertime because what happened with Wiggins over the course of the regular season. Now we in the regular season now, and Wiggins has looked a lot better. So you basically cleaned him up, and now you can probably get something for him. Now the question is what are you looking for if you're moving off of Andrew Wiggins? Because they can't keep going like this. I mean, Golden State, where are they now? I think they're in the play-in tournament, if I'm not mistaken. I think they're in the play-in tournament.
8 right now.
So Mars, just if I'm not mistaken, wasn't it barely 2 weeks ago? They were number 1. They were at the top of the Western Conference. So now they're in the play-in tournament. We go from being the first seed to now. Like, I ain't had them making the playoffs before the season started, and it's looking real tricky now. The question is what are they looking for with Andrew Wiggins? Because if I'm being honest with you, Mars, Ron, if they moving off of Andrew Wiggins, I feel like the demolition should start. That's where the demolition should start. I know that you want to keep the window open for Curry, but I mean, I don't think you're going to get anything for Andrew Wiggins that's going to make you guys a championship contender. I don't see it.
Chill. They looking to add a star. They're not looking
for Andrew
to
Wiggins,
if they come off of Andrew Wiggins, they're looking to get something. And here's the thing, like they got the pieces to still potentially make something happen. You got Andrew Wiggins, you got Kuminga, you got a young Moody. They got something to work with. Like somebody along the lines of Jimmy, somebody along the lines of somebody like that. I know money has to match and whatnot, and there's ways to make it happen, but they're looking to add somebody. And so, I mean, you got Steph, Draymond. You've now added Dennis Schroder in there. You add another piece in there. I'm not mad at it. That's all I'm saying is I'm not mad at it.
And I know that the Western Conference is bunched up. What you say, Mars, they were 8th. So if I had to guess off the top of my head,
they're only a half a game behind the 5th seed.
That's
So
what I was
it's
about
like-
to say. So they're in 8th place, and they probably like a game out the 5 spot or some nonsense like that. So or 2 games out the 6th spot or some nonsense like that. With that being said, what is it going to take for the Golden State Warriors to win the championship? How do they play? They play fast, they shoot the long ball, and they play defense. Well, they don't have that. The defense is split. The defense is slipped. Curry is the
Sure.
only reliable.
Don't they got a top 5 defense?
Well, it was number 1 at one point.
Top 10, top 5,
Yeah,
somewhere in
they-
there. I know it's for
they
sure
were
top 10. I'm pretty sure
Yeah,
it's still
they-
top 5.
Yeah, they were number 1. And
They're 6th right now, but they were probably top 5 before last night's game.
right.
Yeah.
They were number 1. They were number 1 in the league at one point.
But chill, I get you
number
though,
2.
but you can't say their defense is bad from slipping to 1 through 6.
I didn't say bad. I said it slipped. So those
Okay,
2 things
all
ain't
right.
the same thing. The defense is slipped. With that being said, the window for them to win. How do the Warriors play? They're a long ball shooting, fast-paced defensive playing team, right? Steph Curry is their only reliable scorer up until this point. You're not going to get 29 a game, or not even 29. You're not going to get 20 plus a game from Andrew Wiggins at this point. I don't know why, but you're not. Kuminga is hot and cold. I don't know what they're doing with Pozinski. I really don't, to be honest with you. I
He's
thought
about
that
to
he
be
was
on
their
that bench.
future- I thought he was their future league guard.
He's already
Obviously,
on the
he's not.
bench. He just sucks. Right now.
That's what I'm saying, Moss. I thought he was there. I thought he was their future league guard. Obviously, he's not. Right. So then you got Gary Payton, who's one of the better defenders on their crew, but he's not going to consistently make open shots, which is what their problem is. And because they don't have that, if you're trading Andrew Wiggins or if you're trading Kuminga, what exactly are you trading them for? That's going to push you over the championship threshold, because that's where we're trying to get to. We're not trying to get to making the playoffs and being a second round exit. We're trying to preserve this window, this championship window for Steph Curry. Otherwise, then why you still got him on the roster?
Who are you calling, Chill?
I don't think we have anything on the roster that can be that can warrant us a star. And when I say a star, I mean somebody that's going to push us over the top. Y'all dudes trying to sell me this Jimmy Butler thing. I think the Jimmy Butler thing, the window is closed.
Well, I mean, what can they get? Is Zach LaVine good enough to put him in this contention? Like, who can they get?
I don't think anyone would. I think Zach LaVine would be great for them, but the league apparently just says, nah, 50 million or whatever he's making is just too much to want to trade for.
That's how much Jimmy's making, right?
Yes.
Yeah, but Jimmy's, I think this is his final year, so I think it's a bit different.
Zach got 2 more years left on that.
So I think that's the difference.
Mhm.
But I would look at Zach LaVine. Probably, if I was serious about trying to win, I would look at Zach LaVine. He would probably be the first person I look at. Or you wait to see if like a star becomes disgruntled and wants to trade. Those are like the 2 options. Maybe you try to get Brandon Ingram. I don't know. Those are like the 2 options, I guess. Zach LaVine or Brandon Ingram. That's
Brandon
I
Ingram.
think New Orleans hands him over too. I do. I think they hand him over. I don't think that Well, the problem is Brandon Ingram's contract. We always got to factor in the money. But I think New Orleans would hand him over, because the fire sale, just like in Brooklyn, has already started with Dennis Schroder, because Cam Johnson is next, Ron, just so you know. Cam Johnson is next, and we just got to wait for the first domino to fall in New Orleans, because that demolition is starting too. I don't know if they hand him over to Golden State, but I think that they hand him over.
So, but before we even talk about what the Warriors and Pelicans deal could look like, it also has been breaking news that the New Orleans Pelicans are open to trading Zion, CJ McCollum, DeJounte Murray, and everyone else, excluding Vis Misi, Herb Jones, and Trey Murphy III, which I've heard that those 3 guys still can't get moved. It would just have to be a polarizing deal, if you will, or something where they just can't resist. So essentially, the whole roster, Chill, is up for grabs.
I sound like a fire sale, man.
They should have Brandon Ingram in there too. Like, if they keep Brandon Ingram, Herb Jones, Trey Murphy, and I guess the young fella. But I'm keeping Brandon Ingram too. Everybody else can go, but that's just
what's your motivation for holding on to Brandon Ingram, Ox? I mean, he's been there 7 years now?
Yeah, that's all right. I mean, because the problem for me with Brandon Ingram, if you ask me, is Zion just been in the way. They've been too worried about Zion. They're worried about Zion, and Zion ain't worried about nothing but po' boys. So it's like, okay, let's get Zion out the way, get CJ out of there. You know, I think there's some value in Zion, CJ, and DeJounte. You know, so we can build. I think we can build around Brandon Ingram, Trey Murphy, and Herb Jones. And honestly, if if we have to, and if they ask for enough, or if they offer enough, Trey could go too. I want to keep Trey Murphy. Don't get me wrong, but if you ask me, it's Herb Jones or Brandon Ingram. Those two stay. We can build around them and try to keep Trey Murphy as well. That's just what I'm thinking.
Right.
They know, they know their roster. So.
Well, and you said that there's some value with Zion. So I mean, where's their value? We haven't seen him.
Well, I
said
all of them. Zion, CJ.
Sure. Zion got value though, chill.
So,
I think he does, but how much is the question?
Like somebody's still falling for it. That's just the NBA.
You think so?
They're still falling for those highlight those mixtapes we saw when he was dunking on the 5'5" white boys in high school.
Yeah.
They're still valuing his name.
Right.
You know what I mean? And I think somebody's like, well, we can, we can fix him. One of those types. So
that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I mean, you heard what Dyson Daniels said. He said the franchise is cursed. So essentially, if you get Zion Williamson out of the voodoo that's going on down there, and you get him out of that big bowl of gumbo, maybe you might be able to, But all I know is if I'm them, I'm calling Sam Presti, and I'm getting a couple, tips and advices. And how did you build this thing? I'm calling. Who built the Warriors? That was Bob Myers.
Bob Myers, yeah.
Calling Bob Myers. I'm taking him out for coffee. Bob, can you give me a couple tips? Can you give me a couple pointers? Because
what you calling it, Ron?
A cup of coffee and enough for that type of game, bro.
Ain't the general manager down in New Orleans? Ain't he the dude that built the Cavs? What's his name? He drafted Irv. He drafted Andrew Wiggins.
David, is it David?
Oh man, what the hell is his name? He was with the Cavs. I forgot.
Yes, David Griffin.
Griffin, that's him. Yes, Griffin. He's that. I mean, I like to think that he knows what he's doing. The problem is that Zion broke down, and that's not his guy anyway. So it's not like David Griffin drafted him, and that's a contract that they can get out of. So it's not like they stuck with Zion because they're not. They can get out of that deal. So with them getting out of that, they still got some wiggle room. The question is can they draft well? Because that's going to be the key in New Orleans. New Orleans is very.
Go ahead.
New Orleans is very much like any other small market team. Yo, we're not getting guys to come down here. We got to do this through the draft. That's where they got Zion. The reason why they were able, I mean, they got Anthony Davis in the draft. That's how they got Brandon Ingram, because they was able to trade Anthony Davis to get Brandon Ingram. So, I mean, you're very rarely are you going to get guys to come to New Orleans outside of the draft or a trade. You're not getting anybody there in free agency. So they got to draft better. They have to.
Yeah, they're in a privileged position though. If it's a fire sale, they got a lot of guys that I think they'll get value back from. Brandon Boston, he's somebody that's shown he's turned things around. He's shown a little bit of value. Vis Misi, it's the reason why they said he's untouchable. As a rookie, he's shown some good value. Daniel Tice, it's a bunch of teams that could potentially use Daniel Tice as a backup big. Obviously, we know Brandon Ingram and we know what he commands. They're gonna get multiple firsts for Brandon Ingram and probably a starter level player immediately. CJ McCollum, they'll probably get a first for CJ McCollum and they may be able to get a couple good players for him. Trey Murphy, he's a young player with potential through the roof. They can definitely get a lot for him. Jordan Hawkins, that's another good young player, shooter. A bunch of teams can use him. A lot of shooting is at a premium right now. Every team can use another shooter.
We got to start over in New Orleans, is what you're saying. We got to tear this whole thing down.
I'm saying if they're going to, and that's what they're saying. I'm just listing off all these players with value. DeJounte Murray, he's still got some value. Herb Jones, his defensive value. They'll definitely get a couple firsts for Herb Jones. And once again, Zion Williamson. It's somebody that will still value Zion heavily and give them a good package back. I'm saying if they trade, which they're not going to trade the whole roster, but if they trade 3 to 4 of those guys, they're going to get a sizable haul in return. They're going to get a lump sum of first-round picks.
I've always felt like when you got a franchise player who you building your unit around, you building that unit around that specific guy's skill set. They built the unit around Zion. That's why they got CJ as a distributor. That's why they had Valanciunas. They built that unit once they got Zion. I mean, they already had Brandon Ingram, and I won't argue that they had Brandon Ingram, but that's who they were building this thing around. So once Zion went down, it kind of threw a monkey wrench in everything that you guys were doing, which means that now it's time to move on from him. And it's time to move on. It may be time to move on from Brandon Ingram. I'm not really sure, Ops, if Brandon Ingram is the answer, but I think it may be time to move on from this experiment and start over. And
I can see that. I can see that. I was just saying me personally, but
Sure.
I can see where you're coming from. Like,
I mean, I
think
understand.
BI might have the most value of
Sure.
their players.
And I understand. I understand it's a dude that's on your crew that's a 25 a game guy on a Tuesday. All right, I get that part, and we can definitely get something for him. But this Zion Brandon Ingram experiment, I think we're in year 5 of Zion now. I mean, what are we still doing here? What are we still doing here? He's been out of the lineup more than he's been in the lineup, and they're telling us that he's not close right now. Is that what I'm understanding? That he's not close right now. So because he's not close, there's no reason to bet on him coming back. And if he does come back, what is he going to give us? He's going to give us 20 games and then break down again?
That's the only thing I can guarantee you, Chill. The only thing I can guarantee you is if I was in David Griffin's shoes, the only thing I can guarantee you is that Zion will no longer be here. That would. And you know how I feel. You know when I was done with Zion, with Zion when he wasn't playing, talking about he's 99, not 100, and he was out there before the game doing windmill dunks.
He did say that, didn't he?
You remember when he was out there?
That boy did put on the show that day.
Out there doing windmill dunks and didn't get out there and play with his team. That was the day I was through with Zion.
He did say that.
He would have been out that minute. Like, we might not trade you, but don't come back to my facilities, bro. Don't come back in here.
Like
you are no longer welcome. We're changing your code.
You stay home.
Your stuff will be outside waiting for you. Don't come in here and pack nothing. Don't step foot in these facilities ever again, bro. Then when you go to another team, when you play against us, you can't come. You can't play.
Swipe allowed in this arena ever.
You're not welcome.
We touched on 2 things, but I want to get your insights and opinion on first. The Warriors adding Dennis Schroder. How do you feel about that? Is that a good move or a bad move? And then also, who do you think should be untouchable for the New Orleans Pelicans?
Yeah, I think that getting another small guard that can create and plays with a lot of effort on defense, that can play make a little bit. That's 31 years old and it's going to start. I think that is a good move for most teams. I think for the Warriors, it's not a great move just because I don't think it really adds much to what they're doing. They're already small. I think if anything, this confuses me that they've already made, the declaration that Pods and them were the future, and now he's going to start over Pods. So I'm just confused about what the general
Pods
direction.
has been bad though this year.
Pods has been, but yes, he's a second-year player, which I think they should have foreseen that this might not be able to just be a linear progression. That's not how player development goes. So I think that they showed a little bit too much hubris, and that they were just blowing up their own chimney a little bit, thinking that he was just going to end up being like a star right away. And so I guess they're like backtracking on what they said they were going to do. Now they're adding a player to the lineup, and I think Schroeder would do so much better in some other places because I think he'll be more impactful. But I think he'll be good. The problem is he's not a swing factor. Like, they're not going to win 10 more games because of this. Not going to win a playoff series more than likely because of this. But I think he's a really good player, having a career year. And in the Pels, untouchable. I don't think anybody should be untouchable.
I'm moving on for every last one of those dudes.
They've never made. If they had real asset evaluation that was good, then they never would have gotten rid of Dyson Daniels for nothing. So, I think that like Herb Jones, if you can get a great deal for him, you do it. You don't have a star you can depend on, so you shouldn't have anybody that's untouchable. Trey Murphy, you should move him if you can maximize it again. But I want to say this too: they want to have like players that are on the roster they can build around and like have role players that are there when they do get the star. Cool. I get it, but in terms of untouchable, I mean, they just don't have any assets that anybody's gonna like over. And again, it depends too. Like, are they gonna wear their assets down so badly to where you get a Josh Giddey, Alice Caruso swap? Like, did they just swap Herb Jones later down the road because he peaks out as like being an elite level role player and you can't use him correctly? So I think the Pels it's not really by their own doing in some way. I think the DeJounte trade was not a great trade, but you can't help Zion being where he is. Like that's just the situation his body is in, unfortunately. And that's some of that personal choice, some of that is not. I think they're kind of in a they really rebuilt already. They rebuilt after AD. I think they were headed in the right direction, and then things started falling apart. But in terms of the Warriors, not a needle mover. In terms of this move, they should probably want to get rid of everybody except for maybe Herb and Trey if they want to just have role players around when they actually get a star or something.
I think they got a bunch of assets. I'm sorry.
I think you got some good points with that, Swipe. If they are going to hold on to those guys, I hope they do put the right pieces around them to not waste that talent. I feel you on that. And I just wanted to just real quick, just in case, so that we don't not talk about it, because I know we had it in the group chat yesterday, and it really pissed me off, and I hope it doesn't happen. And Chill, you brought him up, Valanciunas. I'm just praying that the Lakers don't get their hands on him.
Ox, we saw that contract when he signed that deal. That was a very movable deal, and we knew that was short term anyway in Washington. 3 years, $20 million. That screams trade. That screams come get me out of here, 100%. And on top of that, it screams Lakers. But here's my question: with Valanciunas, what does he add to what's the problem with the Lakers? I'll tell you, Ox. The problem is their defense. Valanciunas doesn't add to their defense; he adds to their problem because he's not a great defender. It's not like they're getting a better defender at the 5 spot. Okay, sure. Getting Valanciunas means Anthony Davis moves to the 4. Okay, Anthony Davis does play the 4, even with other bigs on the floor. I mean, he played the 4 last year because they had other bigs. So now, if you got Valanciunas, who also steps out and cracks cracks at the mid range, but we also saw him as a defender, and he's not very good. Okay, he's a rebounder. You got one of the best rebounders in the game already in Anthony Davis. So if you're going to add Valanciunas to that, is that going to make you better as a rebounding team? Sure, it will. But that's not your biggest problem. Your biggest problem is on the perimeter playing defense. You don't cause any havoc over there. So if you're going to get Valanciunas, you're getting Valanciunas for window dressing. That's it.
So I don't think so. I mean, he helps them with the backup big role. Minutes where AD's not there.
He's starting
right now. He'll start, but I'm saying minutes where AD's not on the floor. I'm not mad at Brian and Valanciunas. AD better than what they got. No, I'm talking about when AD's not on the floor.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
I'm saying like Jackson Hayes. I don't know what his problem is. He played 11 games this year. I legitimately don't know what the injury is or why he's out. He hasn't been there. Christian Wood, he hasn't played all season. Christian Koloko. Do I want Christian Koloko minutes or do I want Valanciunas minutes?
Oh, Valanciunas, sure.
You see what I'm saying? Like
this where I'm at with it though, Chill. And you know why I was saying it, because we know what DeMontis does to AD, but like Valanciunas, that's big bro to DeMontis. You know what I'm saying? He be, he don't really do that to Valanciunas. So that's why I'm at you. You know me. I'm being biased with this take. This is just straight bias right now.
You don't like Valanciunas because that makes it. You don't like Valanciunas on the crew because that takes the heat off of Anthony Davis.
Right. I'm in my bias bag. I'm specifically only.
You think they can play together?
Well, they're from Lithuania. They're on the same. They're on the same.
No, I know. Yeah, I'm saying, like, do you think AD and Valanciunas can play together?
Oh, okay. I didn't hear your question. I think they can play some minutes together. Yeah, and y'all know AD wants to play as much power forward as possible. So
does he offer enough shooting and off ball stuff to be able to utilize that, or do you think it's inverse?
I mean, I don't know if it's going to open up the shooting. Actually, I probably won't. But I don't think that's a big deal. I think they can still play together.
Do they somehow get better defensively too, just because of having another stabilized rebounder next to AD?
Yeah, because AD can stretch it out. AD don't got to just stand around the rim and protect the rim. AD can play all over the floor.
That's where he's at his best, though. If we're being honest, him being a Roma. However, we still have to take under consideration that Valanciunas is less than as a defender, and guys will go after him. Teams will target him.
Less than in what sense, though? Chill. It's one of those things where if Valanciunas is on a team that's playing competent defense, then he can add a lot because of his his strength and size on the block. He might not be a great vertical rim protector guy. He might not be very, very quick laterally to switch out and stuff. But if they can devise that scheme around those deficiencies, where you're banging with Big Zubac, you're banging with DeMontis, you're putting a body on Jokic, AD, you're coming over the top, cleaning things up.
Yep.
Rui, because Rui's not that a great defender either. Rui,
Right.
Braun, who slowed down on defense. You guys are just digging, you know what I'm saying, making sure you're not getting beat on backdoor cuts. And then if we can work that out, then I think Valanciunas can add a lot to the defense. Now, maybe not for 30, 40 minutes, but in stretches, in segments, 3 minute, 4 minute segments. We're playing Valanciunas 21, 24 minutes a game. You know what I'm saying? We're getting the best we can out of him.
Well, that's fair, Ox. But the flip side to that is my front line, Anthony Davis, if Valanciunas was on the Lakers. Anthony Davis, Valanciunas. These guys are the last line of my defense, right? That's in the front court. These guys are protecting the rim. These guys are rebounding. Well, where am I deficient at? I'm deficient on the perimeter. So, which means that the job, in addition to me having to deal with Chet, having to deal with Jonas, having to deal with other bigs, in addition to that, on this wing, you guys aren't causing any havoc, which means not only do I have to deal with my matchup, I got to clean up your mess too. And that's where Valanciunas is going to have I feel like that's where he's going to have the biggest problem. Sure, Anthony Davis is arguably the best Roman defender in the game. But when you got a guy like Valanciunas who's at the rim, who now has to clean up the messes on the perimeter, plus have to deal with guys like Sabonis, even though Sabonis is little bro, but he's got to deal with guys like that, right? He's got to deal with bigs in the Western Conference. So the problem isn't in the front line more than it is in the backcourt, which is where I think that's where it needs to get cleaned up more than anything.
Yeah. Right. And yeah, they're going to have to fix some perimeter issues as well, definitely.
All right, y'all, we got a couple super chats, so let's go ahead and make this happen. Chat, y'all already know the drill. Like the video, and once again, this show is brought to you by PrizePicks, where you can run your game, control your game, and ultimately win your game. At PrizePicks, it's very easy to join the action and run your game. All you got to do is choose your favorite player projections, pick more or less, and you can win real money up to 1,000 times what you put in with instant payouts and secure withdrawals. All right, y'all. Let's go ahead and dive into these super chats. We got a couple right now. The first one I got is from K Spiffy. K said, make a first team with players that play better while angry. Okay. And also, who's your DPOY and most improved player this year?
Most improved. I had Norman Powell as the MIP this season, but I think I'm going to stick with that. In the DPOI, I'm still sticking with Evan Mobley, even though Wemby is a ridiculous shot, is a ridiculous rim protector, and he's smacking everything away from the rim. I just feel like I feel like what Evan Mobley has done for that defense in Cleveland, in terms of rebounding, in terms of switchability, I just feel like he does more.
Mars, DPOI, most improved?
Wemby and DeAndre Hunter.
Not mad at DeAndre. Swiper, DPOI, most improved so far?
I like DeAndre Hunter too.
Most improved?
Yeah.
DeAndre, I thought wasn't it Jalen like 2 weeks ago?
I got Jalen.
Jalen Johnson.
Jalen Johnson.
Yeah.
I don't think he improved that much from last year.
What's his points per game
no, but just the way his game is looking, how much better the team looks. And
He's
even
touching the ball more. That's the
Who has the biggest swing this year? RJ Barrett?
What do you mean in points per game?
Barrett.
I mean, isn't it
Would it
Norman?
not be Norman? Yeah, would it not be Norman?
Well,
Maybe it is
Norman,
RJ. I don't know.
RJ, Grady Dick. I know those were three of them that had the biggest increases.
What's Peyton Pritchard's increase?
Dang, how
I
much
had
help did
Jalen
Jason
Williams
Tatum got
before
you?
the season started. Huh?
You said how much? Who?
I had Jalen Williams before the season started as a most improved, and then I moved over to Norman Powell. DeAndre Hunter, I had him in contention with Peyton Pritchard for sixth man of the year, but it looked like Peyton Pritchard's about to run away with that.
Man, it's first quarter of the year. Chill, relax. Most improved. What's for the tradition of the award? What was Norman Powell last year, and what is he this year? Does anybody know?
Well, I think this year, he's averaging like 25 a game, something.
No. He's like 22 maybe.
Okay, so he's dropped because he was like
23.
25 a game, 23 a game.
I know he's
And
shooting
he's,
crazy from three.
Yeah, 47%. Last season he averaged 14, so he's up by 9 point.
Yeah, that's a lot.
I think that's your winner right there.
That's a lot.
I
That's
mean,
a
he
lot.
went from 17 to 14 to 23. So, like, how much is it?
Yeah, but in the spirit of the award, RJ Barrett, I think he's probably taking the biggest leap overall, maybe.
Over the last 5 years, the most improved player, I mean, you can fact check me on this. I think the most improved player, his scoring average is going up 5 points over the last 5 years.
Well, John Morant never should have got that award, but that should have been Desmond for
RJ
sure.
Barrett averaged 20 last year and he's averaging 23.
Yeah.
Yeah, his efficiency.
And he's averaged 20 before, too.
I mean, last year we're going to use traditional splits because I'm too bored. Last year, 49, 36, 71. This year, 45 and a half, 34 and a half, 71.
What did I hear?
Last year,
34?
34 and a half.
Ugh.
From 3.
Never mind.
Yeah.
What happened to
But
the early season start? He was stabilized.
I mean, RJ is averaging like double the assists. I
Hmm.
don't know. Maybe that's what he was alluding to. I don't know. But raw box score, not much has changed.
And again, non-traditional. What's anybody in the Cavs deserve that?
What? Most improved?
Yeah,
No.
like from last year to this year.
No.
Unless you be like Darius Garland had such a bad year that this good year is gonna. But I
Mm-hmm.
wouldn't. I'd give him more like comeback player of the year or something. I don't know. But yeah, I got DeAndre Hunter. That's as far as that.
What's his
He
route?
looks. Yeah, that's
Oh,
crazy.
let's see.
DeAndre Hunter.
DeAndre has been balling this year. I just once again, all Jalen Johnson stats across the board have improved.
He
Points
about
per
to get
game.
traded. He about to get
Rebounds
traded.
per game.
DeAndre only went up by
Assists.
3.5 points. He sucks.
No, never mind. Yeah, he didn't get that award.
Yeah, damn.
The efficiency is
Jalen Johnson-
47% from the field.
How much Jalen Johnson's points go up?
His
3.5
I think
points. He can't win.
He only went up 3, but hold on, it's not just the points,
It is.
rebounds,
It is.
assists,
It is, though,
steals,
Ron.
blocks.
It is, though, Ron. It's buckets. More than anything, it's buckets.
For sure.
It's
I mean, but if I just overall got better as a player, my team got better. I'm now a competent. Like last year, he was a good second option, but this year he's shown like, no, I am a star now.
I think DeAndre Hunter's improved more, but it looks like Norman Powell gonna win it based on traditions.
Well, shout out Norman. K Spiffy also said, can we get a first team of players that play better while they're angry? Everybody come with one guy. Who you guys got?
Well, what's angry?
I
Like,
don't know. I don't know. These guys. I don't know. These
De'Aaron
guys
Fox.
emotional states.
I know
I'll say
he's
Luka.
angry.
Anytime someone tests Luka, he start making foolish shots. So I'm just saying.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I feel like all stars have that though. Like you like Anthony Edwards has it, Kevin Durant has it, Jimmy Butler definitely has it. Jokic has it, Luka has it, Jonas has it. He just drives even harder to the rim. Maybe
I don't know if I've seen Joker upset. I don't know if I've seen any.
when
anybody
Joker
turn
doesn't
Joker
get
up.
foul calls and he just starts like and he looks at the ref and he's saying like, "What are you doing? Like, why am I not
So the
getting
ref
touch
turn
fouls?"
Joker up.
Yeah,
The
he will
refs will
start
turn up.
barreling himself to the basket. Yeah, 100%. You know it's coming. Like it's
Right.
immediate. It's give me the ball
Right.
and I'm going straight to the rack and I'm going to force the contact.
And then
Curry.
and then he starts making dirty plays because he has no impulse control.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Are we
Talking
making a
about Sabonis,
first
right?
team of now? Because I mean, Russell Westbrook, he just played angry. Russ just played mad.
Interesting.
The best at it. Well, LeBron starts making jumpers.
Shaq played, piss Shaq off. See how that goes.
Yeah, that was never a good way to
Right.
go.
See how that works. See how
I'm
that
going
works.
Kobe though. When Kobe throw that Mamba face on, you know what time it is. You know it's ugly.
I mean, MJ used to make up reasons to be angry. That's just
No.
psychotic.
It's like I never like this dude said he was better
Mars,
than
you
me.
said
It's like I
something-
never said that.
You said something about me, Mars. You said that you better than me, so I'm gonna kick your ass. Okay, I ain't never say that. Yes, you did, but I think you said it. So fine. I'm
Well, I
gonna
mean,
kick your ass.
somebody said that. We heard last week that Isaiah Thomas was better than Jordan because he won them series. So, I mean, if other people were saying
I mean,
that to
if
him,
you think about it, I mean, Jordan just didn't play winning basketball for us. So
Mhm.
he sucks.
Mhm.
Kobe
All right,
didn't play
y'all.
winning basketball until 2008.
Yeah, Shaq was better.
Mirati Tanzambi said, chill. You said the game is cooked. I agree. I watched a women's NWAC league game, and the girl scored 32 points, but had 19 threes. The rest of her team made 9 altogether.
I'm just
So
doing
she
what you.
shot
I'm doing what you
19
guys tell him. I'm doing what you guys told me to do. You call me an old head. You say that I'm out of touch. You told me I need to get with the time, so I did that. Right? I'm watching the game more. I'm converting more to what the long ball is, and I'm understanding the game. Now you telling me that you hate it. Now you telling me that this sucks. You don't like it. I mean, what is it? What exactly is it that you're looking for from the game? You don't want that. You don't want guys to stand behind the long ball. I don't get it, Ox. I'm trying to make sense of what it is.
And then in the chat, they're talking about 19. That's crazy. That's crazy. Like everybody wasn't just hyping Jordan Poole, talking about he cooked the Nuggets when he shot, what did he shoot, 21 threes?
Yeah.
I don't know, but what's wrong with shooting 19 threes?
I mean, we just saw.
It's
Then we
good,
see
it's good basketball. It's good
Then we
basketball.
see LaMelo. Then we see.
You make 9 threes. Well, I mean, what's the problem?
Ox, what was the girl's name that just did that? She did the Rucker Park spin move for the floater in college basketball.
From South Carolina, right? Not South Carolina.
No, it wasn't.
No,
South
it was
Carolina.
Mrs.
She got a
I
record,
just think-
doesn't she?
She threw the ball here.
No.
Yeah, but that's
No,
the
other
one.
way, other way.
That's the
It
that's the
it
one that she was.
left hand, left hand
I
back
can't
this way.
I can't remember her name, but that's the one that was hurt last season, right?
Yeah.
Someone said Kayomi McMillan.
Yeah, Kayami
Yeah,
McMillan.
McMillan. Yeah.
That was crazy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shout
I mean,
out to her
but the
for
thing
real.
about it is, I was like, it was fire. Like, that's great. It's dope and all, but somebody's like, this is the best move I've ever seen in my life. It's like, bro, relax, bro. But it was dope though. Like, that was fire.
Yeah, I've never seen somebody pull that in a game before. Not at that level. Not at that level.
If y'all see her highlights though, she liked that though. Like that wasn't that low-key was light. Like she got that Herc jersey.
She finished it, though.
Like for real. And I
Yeah.
mean this in a good way. She play like she need to be playing with the men. She play like that.
I don't like the way that sounds, bro.
Yeah, I
You
like the
might
way
not
that
like
sounds
the way
either.
it sounds, but that's what I said. She play like she just she
So that means
look, she
Paige
play like
Bueckers
she out of
is
New
playing
York.
with men
I'm gonna
only?
put it like that. She play like she out of New York.
Does she play like she's been playing around men, Ron?
Yeah.
But all of them,
I mean,
but all of
like
them
all
have. You know
dudes.
that.
She played like she from Chicago or something.
But that's what I'm getting at. She play like she got that. She play like she from the streets.
Yeah, that's that Jewelloid. You know what I'm saying? She played like.
So
Now,
wait, is Paige Buecker the best hooper in college basketball? Then
No.
what do you mean?
How's
No,
that possible?
She's not top 3 right now.
hooper or hooper?
You're just talking about a chick that's a baller. That's what you're talking about.
Just hooping.
She's
How's that
not
possible?
top 3
How's that
right
possible?
now. She might
I'm
not be
talking
top
about
4.
in college.
Yeah, I'm talking about college too. Hannah
What do
out
you mean?
here.
How is that possible?
Hannah out here
Because Hannah's out here. No. Before you get to Juju, because Hannah's out here. And she's playing the best out of everybody in women's college basketball right now.
Man, I'm so sick of this
Hannah beat Paige and outplayed Paige. She beat her and outplayed her. She beat Juju and outplayed Juju.
Player at every grade since her junior year.
Okay, until this year. Until this year.
And she's still cold.
No, she's cold for sure, but she's not better than Hannah.
Is Paige
Hannah Hidalgo has outplayed. She outplayed her one-on-one, beat her team, packed him up in UConn, and she's outplayed her all year.
No, Hannah Hidalgo is cold, but like I'm just maybe
she's better than Juju right now.
Who? Paige?
No, Hannah.
Wait,
No. My bad. Hannah is better than Paige right now.
Right now,
But
today,
quite frankly,
by the time
she's playing better than Juju too.
Next year, by the time we get to next year, you think she'll be better than Paige? Like I'm talking about the draft.
Is it possible?
But Paige is leaving this year. Paige is leaving this year. Hannah's not going to leave.
Oh, I
next year.
know. I'm saying, but like by the time we get to draft season, like, do you think that Paige will be the number 1 player in basketball?
Yeah, she's probably going to go number 1.
She'll be the number 1 pick, but will she be the best player in
That's
basketball?
what I'm saying. Like, will she be the best women's basketball player
Well,
again?
here's the thing, though. Hannah and Juju have to stay 1 more year. They can't leave until next year.
Yeah, that's why I asked him that. That's what I'm saying. So
you're missing what I'm saying. I'm saying by the time, so full healthy again, she gets a full year, year ramp up, full year back into basketball. So by the time we get to next June, will she be at the top of the leaderboard for the best basketball player in women's basketball?
I've always said I think Juju's better than her, and I'm not recanting that right now. She's bigger, scores better, still got some playmaking, rebounds better. Defensively, she get to it. I'll probably go back and forth with defense. But as far as Hannah plays defense miles better than both of them. She plays with a motor that's miles better than both of them. She gets to that rack miles, chill. If you watch Hannah's motor, it's not even close. It's not a comparison. She get to that rack damn near better than both of them. and she clapping that 3 ball just as good as either of them.
I'm
I
picking
don't
up.
know about the
All
motor
right.
thing, but
Yeah.
I don't know about all that. But I get what
I'm
you're
The
me
saying.
biggest thing about
It's
Hannah
just-
is her
it's just-
motor.
it's just-
She's
it's
elite with a motor.
It's because she little and moving fast. I mean, she got a
She's
crazy
not even
motor.
that small though.
She's
Who's
5'6".
not that
She's
small?
5'6".
Hannah's tiny.
She's not tiny.
She's 5'6".
5'6". That is tiny.
Paige
Even
and all them
women-
all bigger than her.
Well,
chill out,
they're
chill
bigger.
out.
They're bigger, but like
But even
that's a solid size 2 guard.
Even no,
Five,
it's not.
5'6" for a
Even-
YouTuber's fine.
even
5'6"
even
for
in
a
women's
hooper.
even in women's basketball, 5'6" is tiny. That's crazy, bro. Like that's crazy. But
All right,
it might look like she like just because she moving fast. I mean, she got a crazy motor. You know what I mean? Like it's people.
Y'all just not watching her then. On defense, she is active.
Hey, Ron, we're not watching her. 'cause
Picking
we
up
just-
full
don't
court.
act like one of these chat members that say we're not watching because we
Don't you
disagree
love
with
how
you.
Ron
Hey,
tells people that we don't watch something when he said that Geno Smith was elite and then looked up like dog water this last?
We're talking about basketball. She's the lead on the defensive end. Picks up full court. Her energy is just unmatched. That's all I'm saying. Her energy is unmatched.
Yeah, I mean, she plays.
So do you think
you
Juju
have to
is-
if you want to be a
Juju
great, you're
the
gonna have
best?
to play with that energy. But that doesn't mean that her motor is superior to
I
Paige. It's
I
not
don't think
it's
it's-
not
I don't
it's
think
not
it's
superior.
close.
It's certainly not superior to Madison Booker. You know what I'm saying? It's not superior.
I didn't bring Madison in this. I just said 2 names, and she's a lot more active than him on both ends.
Is Juju going to be the best consensus #1 overall since Stewie?
Did Caitlin Clark not just get
Is
drafted?
Gino?
No, but remember, Caitlyn wasn't like, I would say her last year and a half was kind of what put her at that. But Juju's a sophomore. Like, so I'm saying like from the time she walked in, like, is she like the best, like bar for bar from freshman coming in, freshman to her senior year, like will she, or junior year, will she be the number, like the best talent coming into to college, dominating college, and then for sure, surefire #1 overall pick? Because remember, Ox, the only reason I address you probably watch more women's basketball than everybody else up here, but I'm just asking in general. Remember when Stewie came in, we knew by the time Stewie got to be a senior that she was like the #1 overall pick at some point in time. And she was the best.
Right.
She walked in, she was already the best player in basketball. Do you think the same thing with Juju?
Well, I don't know about that because Elena Deladon exists. So I don't know about
I know,
that.
but Atlanta was called to Delaware, but I'm saying, but Stewie was.
Yeah. But Stu, I mean, okay, just for sake of argument, here, I can see what you're saying with Stewie, and I think Juju probably got that. But Hannah, to Ron's point though, Hannah Hidalgo's in this conversation. You know what I'm saying? Because she is going. I think she's playing the best in college
Maya was
basketball
before
right
Stewie.
now. You know what I'm saying? Right now, I do think that she's playing the best in college basketball.
No, by far, just to be clear, because somebody said Maya was the best prospect I've ever seen in my life. From her sophomore year when she committed to Tennessee to Connecticut to go, she was the #1 overall pick by the time she was a junior in high school. Like it wasn't even a question. So I'll leave her out of it. Yeah,
the only female basketball player, with the exception of Cheryl Swoops, that I looked at and said, I might need some help to guard her because I don't know if I could guard her by myself. She's the only one that I've ever
only
seen.
one.
She's the only one I've ever seen that I said to myself, I might need some help.
Man, Cheryl Swoops would have boxed you up, old man.
You know, I actually, I'm with the exception,
in her prime?
I said with the exception of Cheryl Swoops.
What about Tamika Catchings in her prime?
No.
What?
No.
What about Simone, Chill? What about Simone?
Simone Augusta would have bust you. No way. No.
What
way.
about Simone? Because she a little longer than
Don't
him. You know
you?
what I'm saying? Simone, like,
No. Maya was different off the strength of Maya just being so poised in her game. Like you couldn't throw her off. And kind of like what's going on with SGA in today's game. I'm gonna do what I do. And no matter what you do, no matter how you crowd me, no matter how you defend against me, I'm still getting to this spot right here. You as a defender, you don't matter in front of me. Cheryl Swoops, I could get Cheryl Swoops to me is like Dominique Wilkins. Like you're gonna shoot yourself out the game. As good as you are, I could get you to just take a bunch of bad shots. I don't know if I could get Maya more out of her game. Because she just so
I'm not gonna lie to you, Chill.
so poised.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I know we're all older now, but like again, when we were like 17, 18, 19, like again, I was a crazy athlete. And so I shot versus Bria Hartley. Like Bria Hartley went to Connecticut. Like she was like a just shooting standpoint was like a knockout, like crazy. Was a crazy shooter. But
Shout out Bria.
Who?
So I'll just say shout out Bria.
I couldn't imagine playing it versus like Tamika Catchings and all that.
Oh
Like,
yeah,
I
that's
couldn't
crazy.
imagine
Mika
when they
was
were
something.
younger.
Ron, I wanted to ask you because I know we had this kind of discussion before. Playing 1-on-1 at 13, you beating Jewel? Okay, that's all I needed to know. That's all I needed
Now,
to
mind you,
know.
I was a chauvinistic pig when I was younger. I was. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I was a chauvinistic pig. I'm bigger than you. I'm faster than you, and I'm stronger than you. But I saw Shell Swoops, and I was like, holy shit, she looked like she had a lot to deal with.
What about Candace? What about Candace?
Yes, I could handle her. I actually played against Lisa. I actually
Candace
played.
is 6'3", my dog. Y'all the same
I
height.
6'4".
played
Bigger than
against.
6'3".
She's
I
6'4",
played against
6'5".
Lisa. I actually played against Lisa Leslie. I can
Oh,
handle
yeah?
myself against. Yeah, I played against Lisa Leslie.
But she was a big though. She ain't had no tween. Candy had tween, bro. Like,
And right, and with all of that, I'm thinking about how I, as a defender, I'm thinking about how can I slow you down. That's what I'm thinking about as a defender. What can I do to slow you down? And somebody like Candace, what can I do to slow her down? Can I be physical with her? Sure, I can be physical with her. I'm a dude. Sure, no problem. With Maya, on the other hand, she is not going to let me take her out of her. She doesn't chase the ball. That's the difference with her. She's going to get involved in the game no matter what.
I'm not gonna lie to you. I feel like you capping. I'll put Baylor Odyssey Sim. I would put Baylor Odyssey Sim versus you and say you wouldn't be able to stop her. You wouldn't be able to stop her.
Well,
Baylor,
this
Baylor
the thing,
Odyssey Sim when she was leading the NCAA in scoring.
This is the thing, Swiper, and this is the thing that people forget. That people think people forget, and a big reason why I love women's basketball is because of how much time I spent on the court with elite women basketball players. And what people forget is it's a contact sport, but it's not a collision sport.
Yeah, for
it's
sure.
not. This isn't football. So while I might be strong, I'm not allowed to just rough her up and just grab her, throw her off.
We see it in the NBA though. It's a lot of players that aren't strong in the NBA that have their way.
Yeah,
because
so
you can't
when
just
people
tackle them. You can't wrap them up.
When people think like, oh, I'm a man, so I could just rub, like, nah, it's just basketball. So a lot of these women are gonna cook you on the blocks, and that's just a part of it. Yeah. And then a lot of times people, they see them on TV and they think, oh, she's a girl, she's not fast, she's not athletic. Right. Well, you know what I'm saying? Speaking from somebody, like I said, who grew up on the court with these elite women basketball players. Like, I went to high school with Vicky Barr, who went to Tennessee. I've seen Pat Summitt in person because of
women are ballers.
You know what I'm saying? Like, clear about that. Yes, I'm talking about in high school. I've seen her come get steals, full court, come and dunk the basketball. These women are not what y'all think it is on just because it's on TV. So I can feel you where you're coming from, Chill. Like, yeah, like Maya Moore. You got
if you're a dude and you think you're just gonna step on the floor and rough her up, you're gonna get your ass torched.
No, they're a lot faster. They're a lot faster and stronger than they look.
Well, Sylvia, I think Sylvia Fowles is a tough one because she's just a strictly post player, and you obviously can't get, like, you're not getting beat by that most times. But again, if you a wing or a guard and you're that good at that level, remember a lot of these women, they play on AAU men's teams up until they like 8. You can't do it anymore. And then on top of that, when you play like pro-ams, they're running men's pro-ams, killing everybody. So I don't know, Chill. Like, again, if especially if it's like make it take it with one of these shooters with handles, even Chill at your apex when you was at Utah State. I don't know, man. I'm not gonna lie to you, bro. I think a lot of these women might put the bar on you, and they ain't got nothing to do with you.
I could just they can just.
He's trying to do you right now, Chill.
No, yeah. That's what he's saying. I'm
not. Caitlin Clark.
What I think you don't understand about me is one, I was a great athlete.
No, I agree with you. I'm not saying you wasn't.
I wasn't a good athlete. I was a great athlete.
He knows. So you remember you put that on him earlier?
Yeah, I was a great athlete in my teens and my 20s. I wasn't a good athlete. I was a great athlete. Number two, I understood defense from a fundamental standpoint. That's why I was good at it. I understood how to get around screens. I understood how to chase. So a woman like Maya Moore, for example, I can't just play Maya Moore and chase her around screens. I got to be very careful how I get around screens, how I crowd her, sitting on her weak hand, knowing her tendencies. I can't just go out there and go, all right, I know how to play defense, so I'm gonna slow her down. No, that's not gonna happen. So I got to be smart playing against her. So the same logic with these women with the tweens, you're not just gonna be busting my ass. Hell no, that's not gonna happen. No way. Why? Because I've gone against men, pros, who I've held my own against, tweening. So when I look at a woman And again, there's a physical disadvantage for you as a woman, and I'm not going to hold that against you because again, you have other advantages. But as a player, just player to player, I feel like I don't think that.
All I know is next PC weekend, I'm gonna get one of these not too far gone like Connecticut players or something, and then we're gonna really run it. And I'm talking about like 29 to 32.
You calling for some help now, swapping?
No, not me. I just want to see it. I just want to see it. That's all I'm saying. I just want to see it. That's it. That's all I'm saying.
You see what you did to Swiper, Ron? Now he needs some backup.
I don't need no backup. I'm just saying, Chill. I believe Chill's an athlete, but I'm also saying, like, everybody know, like, you know what I mean? Like, I get it. Like, I definitely was an elite athlete, but I'm saying even some of these women I've seen, like, I saw mine more in flesh Chill.
Yeah.
6'2" my height. And 195 pounds. Like,
all right, y'all. First off, Marati Tanzambi, thank you for sending that super chat. And shout out to the NWAC, one of the dopest JUCO conferences, the biggest JUCO conference in the nation, but one of the dopest as well. So shout out to NWAC. Also, too, shout out just women's college basketball in general. I think that's the best thing going on in hoops right now. I watch EuroLeague every week. I watch NCAA men's every week. Obviously, we all watch NBA. But I think women's college basketball is the most competitive. When you talk about those top teams and just players and the talent they got, they are it right now. So shout out to them. And then also, too, Juju versus Page this Saturday at 8 p.m. Eastern on Fox. Tap in because that is the game of the week.
UConn play SC?
Football.
I didn't know that.
UConn and SC. And that's also why I'm liking women's basketball right now because they all playing each other. I just told you Paige and Hannah played against each other. Then Hannah and Juju already played against each other. Now we get Juju and Paige. UCLA got to play everybody as well. South Carolina, they didn't play a bunch of marquee games. So like these teams is actually playing.
Texas and Notre Dame. That was the game of the season.
They all getting out there and fading each other. So that's what I'm liking to see. So we get competitive hoops early, then we get conference play, and then we about to turn around and get obviously the big dance too. So it's been good so far. It's been competitive. It's been fun, and it's only going to get better from here. But all right, y'all, we got another super chat from a man who just became a member. His name is Jason Grills.
Nice to meet you, brother. Jason
Grills said, "This is not basketball, but I would like to know what's everyone's top 10 rappers."
10 ever or now?
Let's go top 5. Let's go top 5. Top 10
ever or now?
Ever.
Favorite or best?
I haven't listened to rap like that, so I don't even know who the best rappers are in the game today. I don't. I know. I listen to Drake still, and I know Kendrick is dope. I hear a lot about this kid, NBA YoungBoy. I don't really listen to none of the stuff.
Sure, you listen to KSR one. You can just name from that era on.
KSR. Who was that? You mean KRS?
Let me see. Ever like best or most or like who you listen to?
He said favorite. Or no, he said everyone's top 10 rappers. So I guess your top 5 best rappers. Let's do 5 though. 10's a lot.
Go ahead, Ox. You start.
So obviously we had to start with the GOAT E40. So
love me some E40.
E40, the E40 Nas, Raekwon, Jadakiss, DMX.
Slept on great. I'm trying to go into heaven when I'm living through hell. Holiday. Gotta sell. Yeah, bro. Jadakiss was my dog back in the day, Ox.
Jadakiss go.
Yeah, shout out to Jada, but he can't mess with Fab. Fab top 5. Shout out Mac Dre. He top 5. Tupac, Big. And I'm gonna rock with Hov.
Hov ain't even on my top 10. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Not even top
20. That's crazy.
You can't name 10 rappers better than Hov.
No, I said my. I don't.
You can't name 10 rappers better than Hov.
I don't listen. I've never been a Jay-Z dude except for one album, ever. I've never been
10 number 1 albums in a row. Who better than me? Only the Beatles. Nobody ahead of me.
All right. Well,
sales don't equal.
Crush Elvis in his blue suede shoes, make the Rolling Stones seem sweet as Kool-Aid.
2 of them got shot in your era. Your era got dominated.
96, 97, 98, 99, 2000, 2001, and beyond.
Hey, shout out Jay Styler too. I've been listening to a lot of that prenuptial agreement.
I know we on the culture stuff. I know we on the culture logic, but imagine me giving a chick half my traps like she wrote half my raps. Yeah, I'm having that. You'll be the same chick that when you leave the credit cards in the bank book and take everything you came with. Stop playing, man.
Now, hold on.
Stop playing, B.
You ain't going bar for bar with me. I can tell you
Stop
that right
playing.
now.
Stop playing, B. Don't do that with Jigga, man. Don't do that. But to answer your question, Ox, Big, the best I ever heard. Nas, Jay-Z, Rakim, Slim Shady.
Hey man, where this come from, Ox? Where this come from? I woke up quick at about noon. Just thought that I had to be in Compton soon.
Yeah,
I gotta get before the day begin and for my mother start about my friends.
First of all, he ain't even write that. You know he didn't write that.
Blind.
He still spit it though.
Running out, I grab my clip with that.
Are you saying Easy in your top 5?
No, not. I point him out. Oh man, no, I'm just saying NWA was for show. Pac for me is Easy Pac. Easy Pac. He no more impactful rapper in my lifetime for me than Pac. Kanye is my favorite ever. I think the Runaway album is better than any album I've ever heard. Like all around from top to bottom. I think that the Dark Twisted Fantasy album is the best album I've listened to from one to the end. Ron, is that crazy?
Y'all love that. It's not. It's not even a top 3 for me favorite of Kanye. It's not even top 3.
Graduation, College Dropout.
And Graduation, College Dropout, and what's the other one that was
Late Registration?
Late Registration. I think all 3 of those are better. And then
but think about the mix. Think about the mix though on My Beautiful Dark Twisted Fantasy from starting where it started and then getting to Runaway and then at the end, I mean, all the stuff you're getting there, Blame Game and everything else, like it was relevant.
Is crazy though, Swipe. Graduation.
I know, but I'm saying,
I like Life of Pablo.
His track before he went to that next level, Ox, when he went to that I Am God stuff. He was the best. Like there was nobody I think touching Kanye in terms of just like music.
I think Jesus Walks is one of my favorites. Jesus Walks was crazy.
And then remember he walked in with Through the Wire, and then what was the one before Jesus Walked where he had a old girl in the music video?
Yeah. We all know what you're talking about. But
it all falls down.
Yeah, it all falls down.
Yeah, all falls
down. But then Jesus Walks came out.
Did you see how she was walking through that airport in that damn dress, boy? I was like.
That was Stacey Dash.
Yep. Yes, sure was. When she was still at her apex. But that when I first heard him, man,
right now,
I could talk Kanye all day. When I first heard his freestyle, he was with Mos Def. I seen it. It was on one of the DVDs that came out like early 2000. I'm talking about like 2000.
Hey, I was listening to that a couple of days ago. Swipe out,
bro.
Him. No, I'm talking about the one with Common. My bad. I'm talking about the one with Common.
Yep, Common. But he had one with Common. He had one with Jay. He had one with Mos Def. When that man first came out, y'all, I was like, bro, it was him and 50. Remember, 50 came in, stepped in the game with Wankster and all that stuff, and then had in the club. But remember, that was hood rap. But then Kanye came out with like rap. He was everything. Todd Lee was supposed to be. Raheem was supposed to be. Mos Def was supposed to be. He came into the game, and I was like, dude, this is the best dude I've ever heard in my life. Ever.
With the exception of Mars, with the exception of KRS going after MC Shan, you've never seen a rapper go after another rapper like 50 did Ja Rule. I've never seen that in my life. He went after that dude like he owed him something. With the exception of KRS going after MC Shan, I've never seen a rapper go after another rapper like 50 went after.
Speaking of Mars, can we get your top 5 artists?
Rappers, not artists. Rappers.
Rappers are artists.
Yeah, they're artists.
Damian Lillard, Lonzo, Lance Stevenson, Shaq and Kobe.
What was Adele's ex-boyfriend's name?
Shaq got a platinum album. Let's
you know who I'm talking about? The English rapper, the black dude.
What?
You know what I'm talking about, Mars?
How can I be?
Do you know rappers at all, Mars?
You just said English. There's a lot of people in the country.
No, bro. It's I forgot his name. But yeah, Kanye, Tupac. Drake is in there. Lil Wayne's in there. There was no better era than Lil Wayne putting out the Carters in the mixtape era.
But Mars talking about hoop rappers and not bringing up Steven Jackson though. Mars, like
Oh, my fault. Yeah, I'm a casual man.
It's crazy that you brought that up too, Swipe, because there was a stretch from probably I'm gonna say like
It was
maybe
Skepta. It was Skepta.
was it
Go ahead.
what is it? Was it 09 to probably not 09, I'm sorry. It was probably in the middle of the 2000s where there wasn't a song on the radio that didn't have Lil Wayne on it for like 3 years.
It was from 2004. Remember, Carter
That's
came out, and that's when remember
DJ.
He was everywhere.
yeah, Go DJ,
Go
Fireman,
DJ.
and all that stuff.
Everywhere.
But then remember 2007. And everything.
From 2007 to 2000, there was no song on the radio in rap that didn't have Lil Wayne on it. He was everywhere.
Yo, Ox, Carter 2 went. Oh my gosh, dog. I couldn't, but bro, I used to be so big in the rap, Ox. Y'all have no idea, bro.
Yeah,
Rap was
the thing
my
about
hobby.
it, though, Swipe, is the Carter 2 not better than the Dedication 2?
No, I get it, but it was just the way it hit the streets, though. Remember, y'all, he went from the Hot Boys doing what he was doing, and then Wayne went solo with Bird and all them, and Birdman used to go crazy in the early 2000s. All of them went crazy, and then Wayne came out of nowhere, dog.
No, I'm spinning. Dedication 2 was one of Wayne's
Ain't
hardest.
none of them better than the Drought 3. That's the best project Wayne has ever dropped, put together. A best project ever associated with Wayne. The Drought 3 is it, and then everything else comes next. Shout out to
y'all, you got to remember though. Like at this point, like I liked Wayne and all that, but I was listening to Messy Marv and Jay Stalin. Like Livewire was going crazy, so I was listening to Jay Stalin a lot. I was listening to Messy Marv, E40. You know what I mean? Like all that other stuff was cool, but we keep it West Coast. So,
but Eminem had a crazy run. He probably just was in terms of bar spitter. He was just, it was another level. Like I don't know if you listen to Eminem on the West Coast like that.
I'm getting back to these super chats. YAMS has been a member for a month. He said, "Dub Broncos defense. We making the playoffs." Dub chat.
Got a better record than the Seahawks too.
I think you might have your
It
quarterback.
was something I didn't like
this
about
kid,
YA.
Bo Nix. I do. I like this kid, Bo Nix. I think you might have your quarterback.
Got a better record than the Seahawks, who got stomped. By the way,
Who y'all got?
I was surprised Tampa Bay put a 40 on the Chargers. By the way, I was not expecting that.
John Cena became a YouTube member. Salute to John and his picture of Anthony Edwards. Robert Carr has been a member for 16 months. He said, "Is it possible to have Tim Duncan or KG as the best player from 05 to 07 and Kobe the best player from 08 to 2010?
For me, no.
I mean, anything is possible. I disagree with you, but it's possible.
I'm not mad at you. If you were to tell me KG was the best player from 05 to 07 and then Kobe from 08 to 10, I wouldn't be mad at it.
Shout out to KG, man. Best in the world, missing the playoffs every year.
Yeah, man. One of the main reasons why you are the best in the world is because you win. Winning matters. That's why Bryant was in the conversation.
You can't blame Kevin Garnett for Stephon Marbury being a coward and leaving.
You ain't never getting over that, are you?
No, especially if that's the reason y'all gonna say he couldn't have been the best in the world. Like if taking KG out the best in the world conversation because he was missing the playoffs, then yeah, I gotta give some fire to Stephon Marbury.
He entered the conversation in 04 when they went to the West Finals.
All right, y'all. Heat versus Haters sent through a members chat. Heat versus Haters said, OKC has the best aura in the NBA. Just need Chet back.
Yeah, that
got some pretty good
aura. I mean, it's all right.
I'm sick of seeing this kid Jalen Williams in the back smiling. Get on the court. When you gonna play? Get on the floor.
Chill. They don't put himself on camera. They put him on camera.
What's wrong with smiling?
Yeah, maybe he got a good smile. Maybe the cameraman likes his smile.
Your ass on the floor, man. Get to work. Sick of him.
Cinema Recaps became a YouTube member today. Salute to Cinema. Mello Williams sent through a members chat. He's been around for 11 months. He said Giannis and Jokic still atop the MVP ladder.
Yeah, water's wet. By the way, Moana just crossed 717 million already.
That movie's a banger. I'm about to go see it again.
717.
Somebody
I see it again.
Somebody I work with, she was trying to convince me that it wasn't touching the first one, but I'm like, yo, the first one is such a high bar You know what I mean? Like, let's not compare it to that. Compare it to
It touched it. I don't know if it got the same soundtrack, but the movie itself,
the songs in the
touched
first
it.
one were
It
insane, though,
touched it.
man. Those might be some of the best songs in the
that's a
movie
fact.
since The Lion King.
Bro,
You know
when
what
remember who you are, I was like, oh, bro, it's over, man. I'm putting this on replay, soundtrack, mixtape, all of it. I love that song.
Yeah.
Try TV became a YouTube member today. Shout out to Try.
Wait, Ron, do we have a PC song yet? Like an intro song? We need to have one. That hush that I put on the track last week. We need to make that like the PC intro to the videos.
Oh damn! Hush.
I forgot about that. That was so hard.
Baba has been a YouTube member. He said Swiper's bald head is made up of elbow meat.
Everybody, you got the same skin across your body, unless you have had a surgery to correct something. But same skin.
All right, y'all. We got a couple other things to talk about, so let's go ahead and do it. There were actually some games played last night, so we're gonna dive into these and talk about what happened last night.
Mhm.
Obviously, we know what happened on Saturday, the in-season semifinals. Does anybody want to comment on either of those games? Hawks versus Bucks, or the Bucks beating the Hawks and OKC spanking the Mavs? Shout out to Brotherhood.
They ended up pulling away late, and I think it's interesting that I haven't heard a peep out of Mars. I bet you if Houston was in the in-season tournament championship, we would be hearing a lot.
You're the one who had us winning. What do you mean, people on me?
I did have you.
I knew he was going to lose.
I thought that your offense at the end, man. I mean, the second half, it kind of went the other way, and I'm still not on it. I'm still the more I watch Sengun, he just looks gangly on the box, and he doesn't look like he doesn't. It doesn't look tight. It really doesn't. It looks sloppy on the box. I think he has to do it. And don't get me wrong, you ran up on a team that's got great defense. So you not careless with the ball, but they force a lot of turnovers. That part I'm not going to argue. I will not argue that. My biggest problem is with Jalen Williams. Not Jalen Williams. I'm sorry, with Jalen Green. I would love to see him create buckets in other ways. What I mean when I say that, I don't mean his bag. All right, I don't mean his bag. I mean that a guy who's the athlete that he is, he should be creating more offense with his defense. Number one, he should be creating more offense, getting out in transition and slashing to the basket. Because scorers, all they really need to see is the ball go in, and he doesn't do that. It's almost like he disappears when his shot isn't going in. There's no other way for him to score except within the offense. And that's my biggest problem with him. My biggest problem.
Have you seen, shout out my boy, shot creator, shout out my dog for starting the site. Have you seen Jalen Green's shot chart this year, Chill? You want to see a surprise? This is not the in-season tournament.
He good from the left corner. He good from the left corner.
Look at that.
Yeah.
Look at that. Chill. What does that say?
Down the middle.
No, I'm saying look at the red.
He doesn't score efficiently from anywhere. That's what it's saying.
Anywhere. It's all red. He don't make nothing.
Well, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Like, why isn't he scoring at the rim more? Why isn't he making layups? Why
taking
can't
100?
Well, he makes layups. He just doesn't get to the rim a whole lot.
That's the problem right there, Mars. I feel like he needs to get to the rim more as a slasher, and he doesn't. If he did that more, I feel like that would.
He's not going to get to the rim, and his handle's not very good, and he's not very strong. So
his handle isn't bad. I've seen him shake guys and create space with his handle. Now, don't get me wrong, he ain't got Kyrie Irving handle. He ain't Steve Nash with the peel. I ain't asking him to do that, but he does create space with his handle. He does get guys away from him. I just want to see him dive to the basket more. I just want to see him create some more offense with his defense. Speed the game up a little bit more, like what Oklahoma City does. He's not doing that. I think that's the biggest problem I have with him. Now, as far as Houston, I mean, I'm still a big fan of Dylan Brooks and his ability to defend. Don't get me wrong. SGA, you're not gonna slow him down. People will see that he went for 30, whatever he went for, not realizing that I thought Dylan Brooks did a good job on him. I thought he did a damn good job on him. And we're keeping him away from the basket, making him shoot tough shots, and not just making him shoot tough shots, forcing him into spaces that he didn't want to be in. And that's largely due to Dylan Brooks being a big body and being a little bit more physical with SGA. SGA looked like he was struggling with that. Now, if Houston's offense was better, I think this would have been a more competitive game in the second half because I think a lot of their defense was what created their offense. But I feel like if their offense was better, I think they would have had a better shot. Now, as far as Atlanta, I mean, what can I say?
They win
about
if Trae
Giannis
Young
that
plays
has
48 minutes that game. That's how they win. They had Jalen Johnson running the offense. I'm saying that's Mars. I'm saying that's that game. They already beat him 4 games ago. That game, they win if Trae Young plays every minute. Once he went out, Jalen Johnson was trying to create shots, and it was nasty. He couldn't make a floater, couldn't make an open 3-point shot. They couldn't create any offense. It turned into like ISO ball. Yeah, the whole offense went apart.
Shout out to Trae Young. He's starting to make shots now. Who would have thought? But all right, y'all. We had some games last night, so let's go ahead and throw these up here. The first game is a masterclass from Luka Doncic as the Mavs beat the Golden State Warriors by a score of 143-133. The Mavericks have improved to 17-9, and the Warriors, as we mentioned earlier, have dropped to the 8th seed, and they are 14-11. Luka had 45 points, 11 rebounds, 13 assists, and this was just one of those Luka nights.
Yeah, it was actually even better than the stat line. He had 41, 10-10 through 3 quarters on 14-17 and 6-9 from 3.
He got a lot of good shots too last night. Considering how good the Warriors defense is, I was surprised about that. Luka wasn't making tough shots like he normally makes, especially when they got going early in the first half. I mean, they shot 60% in the first quarter. I thought the Warriors' transition defense was garbage. They sped the game up and they got those dudes involved. Luka in particular got those dudes involved. Got PJ Washington involved early. I thought that Dallas's offense was really good in Golden State. Their transition defense was bad.
Yeah, it didn't matter. No one played defense last night. That's why that game looked the way it did.
What is that true, Swiper, or maybe Dallas just made shots?
No,
because
the Warriors made more shots.
And the Warriors were making shots too. I mean,
that's what I'm saying. The Warriors made more shots. There was no defense played yesterday until the end of the game in the fourth quarter.
I just have a difficult time with that no defense thing because it's just offense. I mean, you can play defense; it's just better offense. And I feel like that's what was going on last night. Even though early on, I felt like Golden State's transition defense was bad. They ain't find anybody in transition. But Draymond was playing defense last night.
Yeah, he was great. But he also remember he didn't start.
Andrew Wiggins was playing defense last night. Like these guys were defending. PJ Washington was playing defense last night. Gary Payton was playing defense last night. It was just better offense. I mean, when you shoot 60% from the long ball in the first quarter, there's an adjustment that needs to be made. And that adjustment last night was the pickup point was higher. With the pickup point, they were trying to pick up higher with Golden State. And then when they got Curry off the floor, they tried to speed the game up a little bit more because Draymond started cracking a couple of threes, but that didn't seem to work because Luka's so damn good.
All right, y'all. We're gonna move on to the next game. We got some other games to address.
Mid games.
The Lakers beat the Memphis Grizzlies by a score of 116-110. A nice bounce back game for the Lakers, if you will. They are now 14-12. The Lakers are, and the Grizzlies are 18-9. And the Lakers are the 10th seed. Well, they're tied with the Clippers for 9th and 10th, but the Clippers and the Lakers are both 14-12, and they're the 9 and 10 seed. And the Grizzlies are still number 2 in the West at 18-9. Shout out to AD. He had a whopping 40 points and 16 rebounds. So.
Got MVP chance last night too.
Salute to AD.
What's the deal with AD and Jaren Jackson? Like he look at him like, yo, I'm gonna bust this dude ass.
He's too small.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, way too small.
The New York Knicks beat the Orlando Magic by a score of 100-91. The Knicks are now 16-10, and they are slowly but surely climbing up the ranks. They are number 3. I think that game put them ahead of the Magic for the number 3 seed. The Magic are now the number 4 seed, and they are 17-11. This game was a big game from Cat, as you guys can see, 22-22. But Jalen Brunson also came through with 31. So the big 2 for the New York Knicks both showed up and showed out.
So 2 things, Swiper, when you talk about football, James reminds me of, remember what John Elway was late in his career with LeBron James. He reminds me of if John Elway doesn't have to play every week, how awesome would he have been? Like if John Elway could have played once every 3 weeks, he could have still played. James, if he could be out of the lineup for a week and they can hold it down and then he come back and then go back out of the lineup, I think they'd be really good. But if for as much as he has to play, that's going to be a problem. And this game right here reminded me yesterday. I don't know if y'all dudes remember, but Vooch used to play for the Orlando Magic, and he used to routinely tell Chris Bosh, "Hey, take this 20 and 20 back to South Beach with you. You straight. You good, my man. Hold this 20 and 20." That's what that reminded me of yesterday. Hold this 20 and 20, big fella. You good.
I just don't like, Ryan, how you just, I mean, they lost, so it's fine.
What?
I just don't like how you just overlooking Mo Wagner, though. I just
What did he do? What's the stat line?
He got busy yesterday.
You didn't see that? You didn't see that 32 points?
Ain't he lose? Ain't he lose?
Yeah, but he did. He did. But, you know what I'm saying? Just want to just shout out Mo Wagner.
Yeah, shout out to
Holding it down while his little bro is down.
holding it down to a loss. Nice.
Mm-hmm.
The Phoenix Suns beat the Portland Trailblazers 116-109. The Suns are now 14-11, and the Blazers are bad.
Shout out to Klingon coming off the. Shout out to DeAndre Ayton coming off the bench now.
Oh, for real?
Nah, he just doesn't play.
He was out. He was out with the illness, though.
At what point? Like how long until we're giving up on Scoot?
Not yet, Mom.
Only year two.
Relax. We're only in year two. Relax, Mom.
At what point do you have to like see potential?
Like what are you asking for, Mars? I think
Potential.
he's a 17-8 guy. He's a
I'm
17-8
asking for
guy.
potential.
He's a 17-8 guy at his best. That's who he is.
How do you know that?
How do you not know that?
Because I'm watching him and he sucks.
Okay, so just like Jalen Green sucked and he 20 a game for his career, right? And Scoot
No,
Henderson.
but Jalen Green at least showed potential.
And
like-
so does and
Look,
so does
Jalen
you've
Green
seen
is at a point. Jalen Green is in a really bad offensive situation for his skill set, but at least he still leads the team in scoring. So there's a positive there somewhere.
Mhm.
He's shown potential of all-star caliber play in stretches. Scoot is just bad.
We've
And like
seen
the
Scoot-
things that we believe, and the things that the things that a lot of people believed about him as a prospect haven't been true in the NBA. So we can't be like, at least he's showing these flashes of, oh, this is what we saw, but it might take a while to develop. He was touted as a generational point guard athlete. He's not. He was touted as someone who could just get to the rim at will. He can't. He was touted as someone who had good feel for the game. He doesn't. So, like, I'm not saying you give up on any bad player who's in year two, but Scoot he's bad.
He was bad yesterday. He was bad yesterday, though.
And he's bad at the things that he was and he was bad at the things that he was advertised as being good at. So, like, that's why I'm concerned. Like, the things that were meant to translate to the NBA, he's bad at. And the things that people thought was going to take a long time, he's bad at. So, like, where's the redeeming qualities?
What is he good at, Mars?
I don't know.
And
I don't think he's good at anything right now. Like, at least Jalen Green is like, when he gets to the rim, he can finish. Maybe. At least he's shown capabilities to be a good scorer at points. Scoot has shown nothing. The only time he's played well is when he shot the three well. And he's not a good shooter. So, like, at what point is that even sustainable? Like, he's bad. He's one of the worst rim finishers in the league. His touch is really bad. He can't shoot the three. His decision making is bad, and he's one of the worst defenders in the league.
They should probably trade him for Bronny.
Damn, in year two, this is how we do these dudes, man. In year 2, and that's the man, that shit is so bad, yo. I mean, in year 2, we don't even know who this guy is. He's on a bad team. It's not like he's getting turned loose with a second year head coach. So it's not like he had somebody to teach him how to play right from the beginning. No, he didn't. He did not. Same thing with Jalen Green. The exact same thing with Jalen Green. But you'll turn around and tell me
had flashes as a rookie with Steven Silas.
And so did so how
Where
does
was
Scoot
the
Henderson,
potential?
how does Scoot not have flashes when he's averaging 17 a game as a rookie? How?
He didn't average 17.
How many did he average last year, Moss? 15 a game, I
An
think it was.
inefficient
16 a game?
14.
Okay,
And
so
an
again,
inefficient 14.
so an inefficient 14. I just got the job. I want to make sure I'm understanding this correctly, Mars. I just got the job. I'm on a bad team with a guy who's never coached at any level before. This is the guy who's coaching me, by the way. I never coached at any level before. I come from the same program that Jalen Green came from, which is dysfunctional. Now I'm getting on this
G
crew.
League Ignite got shut down for a reason. It ain't producing no
Right.
good players other than
But
Dyson
that's the
Daniels.
problem. And when I get to the NBA,
Shout out
and-
Kaminga.
And when I get to the NBA, and the situation is even worse, where I'm on it. What am I looking at if Scoot is on the crew right from the beginning of his career with Nick Nurse? What am I looking at with Scoot if he gets on a crew right from the beginning and I don't know, Doc Rivers is coaching him? How much better would he be? How much different would he be
Well,
if
Doc
somebody
wouldn't
else like
play.
that was coaching him?
But like, I was told when Scoot went to Portland, it was good because Chauncey Billups was a Hall of Fame point guard who could teach him how to be a point guard. And now I'm hearing that no, Chauncey Billups is bad because he's not a certified coach. So I feel like we can't have it both ways in that conversation. We can't say
both ways,
pre-draft, oh, Chauncey Billups is perfect. Floor general, point guard, he can teach him the game. And then when he sucks, well, the coach ain't experienced. Like, okay, so that doesn't make sense to me. And like, if you want to say Portland's a bad situation, that's fine.
Right.
Houston was a bad situation for Jalen Green, and I understand the parallel you're drawing because they both came from G League Ignite and they've both been in losing situations.
Sure.
Jalen Green as a rookie wasn't a good player. He wasn't a contributing to winning player. The way he played was not conducive for success at the highest level, but he showed flashes, and at least the things that we were told was going to translated. We was told about Jalen Green. This is an elite athlete in the open floor, in the half court. His first step is lethal. He can get by anyone. When he gets to the rim, he can finish over the top of people. That athleticism is going to translate. And then what happened? It translated. We was told the same thing about Scoot. The first step, the athleticism. He can get to the rim at will. He can't do it. He can't get to the rim.
So
in
where's
NBA.
the buckets that he's getting coming from, Mars? Like where's the playmaking coming from?
Mid-range
How was he
jumpers
doing
and
it?
some tough layups.
Okay, which is what we talked about him being able to do. So we did see flashes of that. It wasn't like he's just out
You
there.
can't be
just
that
to be out
inefficient
there.
and say the one shot you make is a flash. Like, I am.
Chill.
Like,
The
that
boy
can't
is
be judged.
19 years old. He can't even
but I'm
drink
saying-
alcohol. I'm like,
I'm not saying
can
you
we
can't be
give him a
inefficient.
second.
You can be an
Can the boy
inefficient
get his
rookie.
feet wet?
Right.
Cade Cunningham was an inefficient rookie. We can look at Cade Cunningham and say there's potential here. You know why? Because the things that he was at Oklahoma State translated. He had a strong feel for the game. He was able to play in the mid-range. He played with pace. The things that were advertised to us as a prospect about Cade translated, but he obviously had flaws as a young player does. My issue with Scoot is not that he's bad right now. I can understand a player being bad when they're young. My issue with Scoot is the things that were meant to translate to the NBA aren't translating, and the things we knew weren't going to translate, he's also bad at. There's no redeeming qualities with Scoot. With Cade, there was redeeming qualities. With Jalen Green, there was redeeming qualities. With any rookie who struggled early on, there was redeeming qualities. Anthony Edwards didn't have the greatest rookie year, especially early on, but guess what? The athleticism translated. So you at least saw the things that you were told were going to be good translate. LaMelo wasn't efficient as a rookie, but guess what? The playmaking, the passing, and the feel for the game translated instantly. What translated for Scoot from G League to the NBA? What singular thing translated for Scoot from the G League to the NBA?
Him being able to score the basketball.
He can't.
He might not have been able to score the basketball as efficiently as you would like, just like Jalen Green didn't do it as efficiently as you like.
There's a difference between not being that efficient and being maybe the least efficient scorer in the NBA.
That shit is crazy to me for a guy who just got the job and I'm averaging what, 15 a game? You know how hard it is to average 15 a game in the NBA?
He was 10% below league average.
Even if he was 20% below league
You
average.
can't think potential.
So what is he doing in the league then, Mars, if that's the case?
Because he's a third overall pick in year 2.
And we've seen
They're just gonna just wave him.
So if he's a third
4 years.
So if he's a third overall pick in year 2, this is where we are. Because we've seen guys who have been draft picks early, who eventually it worked out for them. But right now, and we have seen guys who didn't, correct?
Yes.
Yes, we have. So with Scoot, so in, I don't know, let's say year 3, year 4, year 5 maybe, when Scoot turns out to be a solid point guard, where he's 17 and 8 and he's shooting 44% or 45% from the floor, and he's actually more efficient, and it just took him a little bit longer. You want to give up on him right now because he's in a bad situation and he's playing for a bad team and it's just not working out. You want to give up on him right now, but when he plays for somebody else in 3 or 4 or 5 years and he's better, what does that say, Mars?
Here's what I'm saying.
I understand exactly what you're saying, Mars. I get it.
Okay. Well, for anyone who may not, I'm saying there's the reason. If the reason to believe in Scoot is that he's young, that's fine. And I might be wrong. Scoot might turn into a good player, but I'm saying there's one person speaking rationally here, and there's one person speaking with hope and faith. And I know that one ain't me. Rationally speaking, Scoot Henderson has been bad by any objective measure. Rationally speaking, Scoot Henderson's A-tier skills, S-tier skills that he was meant to have as a prospect have not been strengths in the NBA. Rationally speaking, the things that were seen as flaws for him have been worse in the NBA than even the scouts and anyone who was watching the G League thought they were going to be with Scoot. People didn't think Scoot was going to be this bad of a shooter. He's this bad of a shooter. People thought Scoot was going to be an A-tier point guard athlete, Derrick Rose, John Morant, that type of athlete. He's a slightly above average athlete at the point guard position in the NBA. That's bad. People thought Scoot Henderson had good feel for the game and he was able to make more advanced reads in the pick and roll. He can make one read out of the pick and roll consistently. One. Everything that people thought Scoot could do, he can't do. Mm-hmm. And everything people thought Scoot couldn't do, he does it worse than people even thought.
Sure.
So rationally speaking, there's not much room for hope. Now, does that mean he's going to be bad forever? No, there's a chance that maybe he is going to take him a little longer. And that's fine. I'm fine saying in 2 years, if he becomes good, I was wrong. But what I'm not going to say is that I was wrong in my analysis of Scoot. Everything I'm saying today will still be true 2 years from now, even if he develops. It just so happened that he broke the curse and he became better. But as of today, there's nothing redeeming about Scoot. I'm not going to start lying and say, oh, 14 a game is 14 a game. I'm not going to do that. Now, does it mean that he's always going to be bad? No. But what I'm saying is, as of today, there isn't an indication that he's going to be good. If Scoot Henderson was a 29th pick last year, no one would be saying there's a redeeming quality with him. But because he was a 3rd overall pick, all of a sudden there's redeeming qualities. We watched Anthony Bennett. Within 12 games, we knew, okay, yeah, this ain't it. With Scoot Henderson, we're in year 2. I'm just saying there hasn't been a sign that this is good. Doesn't mean that will never be good. I'm saying the odds are, and all the statistical data and all the eye test is telling you this guy isn't good. And I'm choosing to believe what my eyes are telling me. And you're saying he's young so he can figure it out. And I'm saying that's possible. But what's more likely? What's more likely? He figures it out, or the guy who's bad at everything probably isn't going to be that very good?
I think what's more likely is that he figures it out because he's 19 years old. In fact, that's why they drafted him.
He's 20 chill. I was exaggerating.
Okay, let's say 20 years old.
19, 20 years
still
can't drink alcohol.
Let's say that.
He's 21 in February and has been a bad NBA player the whole time.
He hasn't been bad. He's just not been good. That doesn't mean that I'm awful. But
I need the one Portland fan who I know watches the show.
He hasn't been bad, but he just hasn't been good.
He hasn't been great. I'm sorry, he has not been great. But with that all being said, when these guys get drafted as early as you say that they get drafted, what are they getting drafted on, Mars? They're getting drafted on potential. And you know what that potential is? That potential is what you're going to be in the future. And we're going to work on that. We're going to work on getting you better. We're going to work on your downhill game. We're going to work on your jump shot. We're going to work on everything that's about you. We're not going to get it right from the beginning. Unfortunately, he's not a generational talent like Wemby is. No, he's not a generational point guard like Russell Westbrook. They over-exaggerated that. 100% they did. I'm not going to argue that. However, what I'm not going to do is I'm not just going to sit around and go, yo, Scoot sucks. This guy has just not translated, even though we drafted him on potential right from the beginning, and this could be expected. Him being bad right from the beginning, because we didn't draft him right from the beginning to be awesome. Now, what I can tell you is, I can tell you if he would have worked out right from the beginning, great. We did get this guy, and he did turn out to be awesome right from the beginning. Only except that's not the case. That's why you have the bailout of him being potentially good, and that's where we are with him being potentially good. So we'll see what happens with Scoot. But I don't think Scoot sucks. No, I don't. I just don't think he's very good right now.
I think the thing too with Chauncey, it's kind of like what we were talking about with J Kidd. I think once some of his youngsters get more older, get a little older, get a little more experience, maybe make a couple of trades. Obviously we talked about before. We think they're going to come off of Jeremy, probably Anthony. And who else was it? Somebody else over there. Maybe even DeAndre. I don't know. But once that roster gets set, I think Chauncey can really start coaching that team. when it's like when you got a team, and it usually happens like at a younger age, where it's like we can't work on this stuff because y'all can't even dribble with your left yet. You know what I'm saying? So we can't even work on real schemes because I can't put this in to make the ball go that way because you can't go that way. You know what I mean? There's certain things that you can't do. So I think once they kind of get that roster together, I think not only will we people will stop getting on Chauncey, but I think it'll also be good for Scoot as well. Get Anthony Simons out of his way. Let him get the ball. Let Chauncey put in some schemes that are gonna work.
We don't even know who he is.
For players putting up Scoot.
Yeah, he's a baby. He's a baby.
I agree. For players, but the idea of scoring potential because he averaged 14, I think, is disgusting. So for players who had Scoot scoring volume on a per possession basis, Scoot Henderson is factually the most inefficient player in NBA history. For anyone who scored at his volume per possession or better, he is the most inefficient scorer we've ever seen.
If that was true, then he wouldn't be in the league. If that's the case, then he wouldn't be in the league. Because just so you know, Mars,
because he's the third overall pick.
No, that doesn't work, Mars. The reason why that logic doesn't work no, it's not because there's numbers guys like you in the NBA. There's people in the NBA who check numbers.
And I guarantee every person who studies the numbers will come to a unanimous agreement.
Right. So
if Henderson sucks.
So if that's true, then what is he still doing there, Mars?
It's only his second year.
Why would they not play him?
That's the point, Swiper. The fact that he's only in his second year.
If Scoot Henderson
can still be true, though, Chill.
He wouldn't play a second. If Scoot Henderson was on Boston, he wouldn't touch the floor. But he's on a tanking team who are actively trying to lose while also trying to develop him.
More than
he might be better with Boston, though, Mars. He might be better with Boston around those players.
He wouldn't. Well, he might be in practice. Yeah, he would never play.
Well, he might play.
He might really be. He might be a tough competitor with the third stringers in practice. Cool. He wouldn't touch the floor. He wouldn't touch the floor. And but with the idea that these top draft picks don't get given a larger leash,
they do
when they're bad,
100%.
is ridiculous. The reason
when you
getting
it's just like in business
right now.
When you make an investment,
and
you have to see your
when
investment
you invest
through.
in someone and the investment looks like it's failing, you're gonna try and keep playing that investment to make it work out. The reason Scoot Henderson plays still is A, Portland suck, and B, they invested a lot into him, so they want him to work out. So they're gonna try and make him work out until he can't work out.
Right.
If Scoot was on a good team, he wouldn't play. Last season, he was the most inefficient player of his scoring volume ever. This season is barely any better.
That's the part I'm disagreeing. Well, not necessarily disagreeing, but I'm saying I think that's one of those let's talk about it for a second things. Whereas I agree with you that he's getting a long leash because he was the third pick. I 100% agree with you on that. Yeah, that's how it works. You know what I'm saying? But if he was on the team surrounded by Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, or another team that could open up things for him, maybe hide his deficiencies, help him with things because he can work on other stuff.
You mean teaching him the game, Ox? You mean
I don't think that he would just be sitting on the bench if he had some better vets,
How
some
do you
better
hide
role
someone's
players.
deficiencies when their deficiencies are basketball?
Oh, that's crazy, bro. I don't know.
No, what you meant to hide?
I can't quit.
It's genuine question. Let's play the hypothetical game. We put Scoot Henderson on Boston. He can't initiate
I'm not
offense.
trying to hear that at all.
He can't initiate offense better than anyone.
So what is he doing here then? That means the general manager of the Portland Trailblazers should be fired. Why is the general manager?
Chill. It doesn't work like that. I did. But chill. It doesn't work like that. Every single year, there are players that are drafted in the lottery that don't pan out, and it's not just a player; it's multiple players. All these players come in with people writing up articles and hype. Yes, chill. It happens every year. And chill. It doesn't matter. Hold on, chill. Wait, hold on, chill. It doesn't matter how bad he is. If we're expecting you to be Victor Wembanyama was coming in, he was supposed to be the next Kareem, the next Jordan, the next this. If Victor Wembanyama was just a two-time All-Star, we still would say we would talk bad about him because he didn't live up to his potential. Scoot isn't living up to the potential that he was supposed to be. And the reason why I'm not overreacting to this, because I tried to tell y'all that boy wasn't all that good in the first. I wasn't that high on Scoot. I'm not even gonna get into that bag. I wasn't that high on Scoot. I thought Brandon Miller was better. I thought a few other players were better. So I'm not all that shocked. Did I think he was gonna be this bad? No. But also, do I still think that somebody who once again can't even open a beer or buy a beer to open
That's where I'm at.
is not going to pan out. I'm just thinking like if Scoot sticks around for 6-7 more years, I could see a Chris Dunn story happening.
I think he was 17 and 8.
I think his teammates need to get. I think they need to keep working on that roster. Keep working on that roster. And I think he'll start looking better. It's no way. Like I'm with you on that, Ron. He's a baby. I can't just write him off yet. To Mars's point, he hasn't shown much. He's shown physical attributes. You know what I'm saying? Speed, strength, things like that. You know, he's fast, Mars. He's strong. He hasn't shown a great ability to make teammates better. He hasn't shown a great ability to have a great basketball IQ. But I am of the mind that once I'm playing with some guys that can do certain things better than the guys I'm playing with, it will help enhance my abilities as well. So, Mars, I think you're being a little rough on the kid when you say his deficiencies are basketball. But
he can't play. But that's what I'm understanding. He can't play at all. He
I don't know why I can't speak in the current world.
All right, so today,
what is Mars? You're spitting that right now. What is
Mars? No, you're spitting, Mars. We understand that you're spitting.
But then I'm not hating for saying his deficiencies is the whole game basketball.
Well, you can spit and hate too.
No, he sucked. No, I don't think
he's a superior athlete. Is he not? Is he not a superior athlete?
Nope.
Superior to who?
Nope. He's not superior to anybody in the
NBA.
He's a superior athlete to bad athletes.
Nope. He did. In today's game,
he's not fast, quick. He's not athletic. He can't jump high.
Compared to the rest of the point guards in the league,
Scoot is a top 10 point guard athlete in the league.
Compared to average professional.
He doesn't have to be faster than Darius. Yes, he is. What?
No, he's not.
He's far more athletic than Darius Garland.
I said he's not faster than Darius Garland.
Okay, but he's more athletic than him.
Cool, he jumps higher. But then it comes down to athleticism has to be functional.
And that's also the thing, too.
Athleticism isn't functional.
Here's the thing.
Translate to the NBA.
No, and you're right, but it can translate. He just has to relearn how to use his athleticism. He has to learn how to be slower, play with pace instead of just.
He's not the outlier athlete. He was
slow.
I think he is. He just hasn't learned how to use it.
He's not an
School. You just can't outrun an athlete. What?
You think he's a John Morant level athlete?
No.
He's along those lines. He's along those lines. He can run and jump with Ja. He just has to learn how to use it. But
that's where we disagree. Okay, you're higher.
I think he could be a lesser version in terms of an athlete. I think he could be around a lesser version of what John Wall was. I think he could be that.
But John Wall had 6'4" athleticism. Yeah. John Wall it was other things Ja could rely on. He had other tools that Scoot can't. Scoot has to learn how to slow down and play with the defense a little more. Like if Scoot goes fast and then stops, and then goes 60%, and then goes 100% and then stops, that's the type of shiftiness he has to be. He has to play with almost like a Luka type of pace to slow the defense down so I can then blow by you. You can't play like Eric Bledsoe. You just can't. You're not going to be able to out jump, muscle, and thug everybody. This isn't high school anymore, Scoot. You got to play with some pace. You got to get some better moves. You got to learn how to slow down, and then things to get better for him.
Is he I don't think he realizes, Chill. I don't think Scoot knows yet that slow is quick.
Yes, Miles. I think
he doesn't know that yet, Chill.
Yeah, I don't think it's a huge gap. What is he? 6'4", 6'5"?
I don't think it's a huge gap, but I do think that he is better than him.
Regardless, even if Scoot was a better athlete, Jaden Ivey his athleticism just translates more because he's bigger, faster, stronger, and he has other tools that, once again, Scoot can't rely on.
That's the problem. The one thing that was meant to translate needed to translate for him to be effective because of his size, and it's not translating.
But my point is that he was drafted on potential. That's the idea with this.
He was potential plus the fact that he wasn't terrible.
Right.
And no one was like, "Oh, he's 2 years away from being 2 years away." That wasn't the draft prognosis on him. The prognosis on him was actually that he was going to be pretty good.
Yeah, he was going to be a favorite because he was a great athlete. 100% he was that.
That was a
Fellas, we got to get to these super chats. We've talked about Scoot Henderson being bad for 20 minutes, and I had no clue I was going to wake up and get a Scoot Henderson debate. But shout out to Scoot or some people call him by his nickname.
Shout out
super chat tomorrow saying I was cooking.
Shout out Ski Henderson, man. MP13 said none of this matters, Swiper. You just got to be a man, like Jordan said on Friday, and win no matter who you have on your team, or you are just not that guy.
Y'all don't listen to Jordan with that, man. So it's okay to show show
be a
be more
man.
so. It's okay
Man
to
up.
cry. Well, yeah, don't listen to Jordan, man.
Man up. MP13 also said the definition of winning basketball changes so fluidly within the context of the team, lineup, era, and situation of the game within the moment.
I think that's exactly what it is. Like when you're playing winning basketball, it's not going to look the same every time. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not playing against the same team every time. You're not playing against the same player, the same coach. It's not the same strategy. You know what I'm saying? So winning basketball will change with it. It's winning basketball is making the right decision, doing the right thing. You know what I'm saying? Making the right play. Like that's winning basketball. And that's not, it's very rarely going to be the same thing game after game after game. You have to be able to think basketball. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem with what's going on with the just shooting. We're just gonna shoot as many threes as possible. Mathematically, we should win. That's why basketball is no longer. I don't know what this sport is that they're playing. I'm not sure what this game is, but it's not.
It ain't basketball, Ox.
Yeah, it ain't basketball. I don't know what they're doing. And it's fine. It's fine if y'all love it. It's fine if y'all like it. I'm not telling you not to. I'm saying this ain't the game I know. And I don't know everything. So, you know what I'm saying? It's whatever. You know what I'm saying? But this ain't hoop stuff.
All right. A super chat from somebody who really knows hoops. He goes by, well, it was somebody named a great one, but he's another great one. His name is Mike in all caps. He said, Mars, based on your logic, prime Klay Thompson is greater than Allen Iverson. You don't know ball if you believe that. Cook, Mike.
Cook, Mars.
What was my logic?
I don't know what your logic was.
Whatever it was, he cooked it. Either way it goes, Mars, just accept your cooking and let's just move on.
The stealing reason logic, I guess.
Mars,
maybe?
just accept your cooking and move
Yeah,
on.
I'm cooked. My fault.
Drink More Water said defenders and hard shot creators are generally ceiling raisers, while high-level playmakers and ball handlers are floor raisers. That's how I look at it.
Yeah, I think ball dominant heliocentric is the buzzword. Those guys are more floor raisers. But like if you're able to play off the ball, able to create offense quick and easy, that's more ceiling raising, I guess. Some players are like great at both. I think Kevin Garnett's like the best example of like he was a great floor raiser and ceiling raiser. Maybe that's why I'm so high on him. I don't know.
Context Clues said, I don't know if it's true, but I saw that the Mavs and Pelicans are talking about a trade for Herb Jones. And if they can pull it off, what does it do for the Mavs?
That's Derrick Jones Jr.
Depends what they give up.
Chili, that's better than Derrick Jones Jr.
Yeah, that's Derrick Jones
Get
Jr.
that boy
2.0.
Yo, but if you're the Pelicans, you just can't do that. You can't.
Well, I'll give them Klay Thompson. It's a good trade.
Nah, like I need Kyrie Irving in 3 first rounds.
Nah, you can get Klay, 4-time champion.
If you want her, I need Kyrie, PJ, and 3 first-round draft picks.
I mean, Klay is greater than Allen Iverson, so put it that way.
Exactly. You better than MVP, so you know what I'm saying. So
I still might not even give you her for that, to keep it real.
Marcus FRM 626 said OKC defense ? Nah. Last 10 games, my Wolves 99.3 defensive rating, clear the best team in the league. We taking our defensive title back.
Yeah, they held the Clippers to 90, then 80. Then they held the Lakers to 80 twice. They held the Warriors below 100. And they held the Spurs below 100. Not really very good. Not very good offenses, but it is helping their defensive rating. I do think they've climbed into the top 5 just off this
So Mars, the defensive rating is how many teams, just on average, how many points teams score on you, or that's per 100 possession?
Per 100 possessions, how many points you give up?
And I don't like it.
It's just a rate stat instead of just points per game, because if you play at a faster pace, teams are going to score more points on you. But on a per possession basis, you might give up less points than someone else. That's I guess the conversion.
Oh, okay. I mean, yeah, I see it. I can see it.
Realist 123 said AD 46 and 10, LeBron 18, 8 and 8. We are back. The Celtics or Cavs better be ready for us in the finals.
I love seeing the difference in his tone after a Lakers win versus a Lakers loss. Next time they lose, all of a sudden the season's over. LeBron's washed. Make trades. JJ Redick sucks, but when they win, go into the finals.
Yeah, man, that's not healthy for you. Y'all got to stop being parlay fans, just like y'all watch the game for your parlay. Speaking of which, playback tomorrow night. We will have a nice parlay in place for that specific game, and I'm excited for the game tomorrow. And who else will be up there? Ox and Chill, that's you guys.
Sure.
You guys.
Yeah.
I never.
Hell yeah, I'll be there. I'll see you there.
You wanna go, Mars? I'll pull
It's too
Chill
late
up.
now. It's too late. It's too late.
All right.
I ain't being no backup plan, man. It's too late.
Okay.
Man, swallow your pride, Morris.
Hell no.
Tonight, Mars. You want to do the
No.
Sixers Hornets?
No.
All right, you get Lonzo. Bulls and Raptors.
No.
All right.
Hey, but Fredo, Ron, like what game do we got tomorrow?
Is it not the in-season tournament final?
Hold on,
Yeah,
just give me.
champ-
Yeah, it is.
It's the championship game.
You're right.
Oh, that's right. That is tomorrow. I signed up for that. That's right. I remember. That's right. My bad.
They ain't even asked me. They ain't even asked me if I want to do it.
They didn't ask me either, Mars. I got on the phone.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my belt, so they ain't even
close.
picking up.
Ron, enough already, Ron.
They ain't even picking on Michaels. They ignoring me.
What is the deal, Ron? Can the champion get his belt? What's the problem, Ron?
Mars has his belt. He's lying, Chill.
Okay.
Mars, do you have the belt, Mars?
Dirty, stinking, filthy.
Yeah,
liar.
I totally have the belt, man. Yeah, absolutely.
Mars, do you have the belt? Yes or no?
No.
Show
Ron,
us
why
the
doesn't
belt,
he have
Mars.
the belt, Ron? What's the problem?
He got his belt.
Okay,
Ron,
so
this is
it's
crazy.
always-
But it's cool. You can read
Hey,
the
Ron, let's
super
get these super chats. I got an aerobics class in 30 minutes. Them soccer moms do not wait.
They don't, Ox. Baby.
Lee Mack said some Monday advice for anyone who might need it. Invest in people who invest in you. Have a good day. Merry Christmas.
So they have to invest in you first for you to invest in them. What if they're following that same advice? Then because you're not investing in them, they're not investing in you. Then no one's investing.
Nobody's
in
getting
anyone.
invested.
Someone has to be the first person to invest in someone.
That's
If
correct.
you're just waiting for someone to invest in you before you invest in them, and everyone's doing that, no one's investing in anyone. So
Somebody got to take a leap of faith.
how about you take some initiative and start investing in people you believe in? It's not about reciprocating energy; it's about being a nice person. But no, everything's transactional with you people. Oh, I'm not going to do this for them because they don't do it for me. No, how about you just be a nice person and don't expect good things back? Just be a nice person, and what you deserve will at some point find its way back to you. But no, I have to do these things because I want things back for me. Man, shut up, man, you selfish people.
Mars,
That's why I'm going to the
Mars,
homeless shelter.
that was beautiful, Mars. That was beautiful.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie. That was beautiful.
Jason Grills said in history,
For the
talking about the rappers.
Yeah.
We got you, Jason. We took care of it. Then Jason Grills said, could you see the logic of J. Cole and Kendrick being top 5 in history?
No.
Next.
I'm not gonna lie. Hey,
I
if
don't
Kendrick keep
see
doing
it.
what Kendrick
I mean,
doing.
if they're your top 5,
Kendrick's
favorite,
the one, Ron. Kendrick's the one of those two.
Okay.
How can you rank a
Kendrick is
rapper other than what you
running
enjoy
shit
listening
right
to? Like, if you enjoy listening to Kendrick more than anyone, how is he not just the best rapper ever?
Like you can always go off of like rhyme schemes, patterns, like different deliveries. Even if you don't like it, you know what I'm saying? Like the way they ride a beat, or topics on what they talk about, stuff like that. So you can not like for
So you
basketball.
can be
I
like,
don't
this guy's
I don't-
better, but I don't enjoy listening to him.
Yeah, like Luca. I don't like Luca, but the boy is dope. Like
I think that Q-Tip's one of my favorite rappers to listen to. I've never put him in top 5 conversations, but he's one of my favorite rappers to listen to.
right.
Yo, Twitter the drop said, I'm late, but did y'all talk about OKC getting our get back on
Get back,
Houston?
yep.
Good game, Mars. Y'all defense elite, but ours 1v1 or ours on another level.
yeah.
Plus J-Dub's leap is here.
I don't even think I just think our offense sucks, and some of it's Jalen Green, but I feel like Jalen Green's getting blamed a little bit too much, if I'm being honest. Like,
You're
this
the one who
offense
started that, just so you know, Mars.
No, Jalen Green is not good. Right now,
Okay.
he's not good.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like people just blaming Jalen Green and acting like, oh, if Jalen Green was a legitimate scorer, the Rockets offense would be good. No, this Rockets offense is just dysfunctional. The spacing is bad, in part because of Jalen Green, but in part because of everyone else. They know that all we have to do is clog the paint and force up threes. So the fact that no one can shoot, including Jalen, doesn't help. Şengün can't finish around the rim this year. The offense is offensive rebounds and transition offense. That's the only reliable way they can score. It's more than a Jalen Green problem. And Jalen Green's efficiency isn't even that far off Şengün's. He's at 52.5 true shooting. Şengün's at 53. Like, they're damn near just as efficient as each other. And one takes a bunch of layups and the other one's relying on jump shots. So, like, there's many problems beyond Jalen Green's scoring efficiency. Many problems.
DSG Piccolo said, we talk about Rudy getting the ball and missing him wide open bunnies. Dub panel, fire Chauncey, and Scoot is buns, man. Losing my mind.
See? Look at Piccolo, man. He knows. Scoot sucks. Yeah, told you. That's a Blazers fan right there. He watch every game.
Eli the Misfit. Speaking of suck, he said the Rockets suck. Heat better.
Damn.
Trent sent through a member chat. He's been around for 18 months. He said Dub Pano and Super L host.
Garbage. Trash.
Actually, it's not L. It's greater than.
Garbage. 2 thumbs down.
Think that's what he meant to send. Mind Goblin said, who better, Scoot or Lynette?
Man, I got Lynette, man. I got Lynette.
There you have it. There you have it. Doctor sent through a super chat. He's been around for 11 months. He said, chill. Do you get why they don't want to pass to Rudy?
It was bad last night. Real bad.
Maradi Tanzami said, Ron, read my last super chat. Maradi, we read your last super chat.
What was his last super chat?
Remember when he said the girl scored 32 points, shot 19 threes, and then we talked about
that was him?
that, and then we talked about women's basketball for like 20 more minutes after that. Maradi, if you missed it, just rewind back. We had a good conversation, and I thanked you for sending through that super chat after I read it, and then also I said shout out to NWAC. Mike said, Mars, you know what your logic is.
He was talking about the ceiling raising thing.
G King said, who's better right now, Shea or AD?
Shea.
I got Shea too. Arch Diddy said, please tell me y'all on playback for the Cup Championship.
No, we're not. Of course we are. Yes.
We'll see you there, Mr. Diddy.
Of course we are.
Football Breakdown said, you can suck my wings, stand on my money, headbutt Yao Ming.
Is that someone's boss?
Yeah, that's Lil Wayne.
And Lil Wayne like 5'2", so that's a lot of money.
That's why he's called Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
Heat versus Hater said 07 Wayne versus 07 Ye. Who wins?
In a 1-on-1?
07 Wayne.
07 Wayne running circles around Ye.
Yes.
Respectfully. Now,
he was everywhere.
Ye,
he was everywhere.
Like after 2011, like Ye got Wayne from 2011 to today. But at that moment in time, 2005 to 2010, nah.
He was everywhere.
Mo said Drake top 3. Can't be mad at that. If you have Drake top 3, I wouldn't be mad at it. Marcus FRM 626 said Jay-Z was never the best rapper, not even 1 year.
Damn, how can you be top 10 if you were never definitively the best in the world? That's what I heard. That's what I heard. If you were never definitively the best in the world, sounds like Jay-Z's cooked.
I like burritos, said Kanye clears everyone. Mello Williams said Dyson Daniels went up 9 points from last season. She averaging 16, like maybe. I don't know. It can't be nothing crazy.
Like that.
It's probably like 14. Probably averaging like 5 last year.
Shout out Dyson. My man Penn Sare basketball said, chill. Kawhi loves basketball. And then he said, RIP Mark Leonard.
Is that his uncle?
Not sure. EB Sports Talk said, who you got winning the NBA Cup? Lars, EB, pull up tomorrow and you will see who we got in our predictions when we talk about the game in depth tomorrow.
I ain't betting against Darvingham. I'll just say that.
Mad Max Sports Talk said Randall equals floor raiser. They don't play winning ball. Mike said, chill. I'm pulling up soon. Don't duck.
He didn't. He didn't. We had the link out a couple of days ago and he was in the chat. He didn't show up. Take some of those marbles out of your mouth.
Ray Star said, Chilltown, my Timberwolves defense is back. Hashtag we back.
We'll see.
Masinko said, what's up, fellas? Be great. And shout out Mikal Petrus.
I like Mikal Petrus.
Mikal was nice.
Yeah, he was nice, yo. I do
definitely,
like him.
definitely a solid role player.
Better than Scoot Henderson?
Nah.
Okay.
8 Gates Lee said, "Hey Ron, can I get a go pack go?" No. Mo said, "Chill. What's your favorite finals performance ever?"
The 92 finals.
George Mikan had some good ones.
Yeah. 87 or 92. Even though 2016 was right at the top. But 92.
And last but not least, Mo said, "Ron, I hope you're doing well. Let's have a great show." And indeed, we had a great show. Appreciate everybody for being here. I hope to see you guys early tomorrow. Hit that like button, subscribe to Player's Choice, and we will catch y'all at the same time, same place.
Later.
Merry Christmas.
Later.